2, 1.
Black Panthers. Two-step Texans.
Falcons acquire wide receiver Brooks per reports. DK Metcalf dismantled the Panthers. Dak Prescott displays arm and win against Panthers. Seahawks win 62-35. Will the real KJ Jefferson stand up? Questions. D-Rex Havoc. Eagles fall to the Chargers 45-14. 4 touchdowns from Sanders and win over Colts. Indy turnovers lead to Houston's win. What rival? Texans finish strong and win. Clutch day from H-back Allen versus the Giants. Turnovers proved big. Chiefs beat Giants 55-10. Rally on the road. An all-time performance from Jameson Williams. Big loss at home for Commander. Extraordinary day for Trey Palmer as always. Palmer scored 6 times in Tennessee. Could find no answers for the Rams receiver. Rams beat Tennessee 61-30. High flow, ugly loss. Not much else I can say to describe it. Stunning home crowd. The Titans appeared to be cruising to a win before the Rams stormed back, overcoming a double-digit second half deficit and winning the game. Patriots defend home field in week 3. Hooker and Pat gear up for Bears. Ravens to Steelers in week 3. Cowboys scheming for Broncos Daniels. Murphy Williams center stage in Arizona. Titans scheming for the Rams Richard. Eagles at Chargers, who's ready. Jaguars take on the Raiders. Dolphins hungry for win against Levis and the Saints. Jones, Prescott center stage in Seattle. Steelers ink deal with cornerback Byron Jones. Draft dilemma. Montrell Horton out for the season. Teams will have to reevaluate the stop at cornerback Montrell Horton after a devastating injury has left sideline in the rest of the season. Final injuries right now. Welcome, fellas. Welcome, gentlemen. Let's get to it right now, right away, man. If you are on here, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. If you're a guy that's not in my league and you've been watching us, keep watching. We enjoy your presence. Some of you guys show who you are, some of you don't. We got haters out there, man. Shake the haters off. Those guys watch too, and we enjoy that as well, man. Trendsetters. At the end of the day, man, we're back. Season 4, we are in Real Draft, one of the best Madden franchise leagues around. Hands down, don't ask nobody. You can just find out yourself. But we are in season 4. Yes, sir. We are a few weeks into playing football. Some plugs that are coming up. Understand practice squad stealing will be not ever on, but will be available week 5. You can start putting your waivers in for guys on practice squad that you're interested in helping take your team forward. Most guys have played 3 games already, and in those 3 games, you start to get a look at who your team is, what you have and what you need to get going forward. You should never be in a situation where you're comfortable with your team. You should always have scouts and things out there on the road trying to figure out where the next best talent comes in at. You should always be looking to move forward. You should understand what you got going on with your money. Your franchise should know that. Your owner should know that. Your GM should know that. And you guys should be making moves accordingly. Injuries are on. They will be on. Even if you don't play your game, that injuries will be on. So if you lose a guy in a sim, that's on you. We got a lot of questions. Last night I spoke late night. We spoke about quarterback type of dandies and some of these quarterbacks that are playing right now. There was a watered down quarterback class this year that came out, but we had some serviceable guys and some guys that are getting playing time that we didn't expect to get playing time at all. But two of the top quarterbacks that you got to think about right now, and as you go forward, you got to think about three quarterbacks that come in mind. Jalen Milroe, who went to the Las Vegas Raiders, who had a week 1 show. He put on a show, man. And I think that week 1 show doubted all the combine experts and, draft experts and all that, doubted him as a quarterback, think that he should play receiver, tight end. He showed them in that game against a very, very young, good defense in the Houston Texans, and he went out there and he 88 QBR percentage out there. He did a really good job in that game, running their offense, and not only did he win that game, he comes right back up in Chicago and beats the Bears, showing that he is an NFL caliber quarterback. Ty Thompson for the Browns takes over for the highest paid guaranteed contract we ever seen ever on a football player, and Deshaun Watson, man. I think it's the end of the road for Deshaun Watson and the Browns, man. They made that decision when they drafted the quarterback. They drafted a Ty Thompson, and he's had them playing at a very high level. It looks like, you found homes for guys such as Nick Chubb, who's now a a Cincinnati Bengal. Deshaun Watson is there, but no longer the starting quarterback for this team, and they're starting to move on and try to pick this team back together. It was a hard road for them. They had a really good roster, a playoff roster. Some would say, one of the better rosters on the game to start this off with, but you also didn't have any draft picks to really further your team efforts. So these guys were stuck, dealing with the things they had to deal with for 2 draft classes. This was their first draft class where they were able to play every round. And we'll take a look at the Browns for a second and see what they got going on. But you want to see guys that sit through it, no complaining, just sit through the situation and try to fix their shit and get it right so they can play, meaningful football later on. That's the name of the game, man. Put it together, put them puzzle pieces together and figure it out. We start off with our everyday start off when we do our things, and let's look at this. How about this? The Cleveland Browns are the number 1 team in the league right now at 2-0. Eagles were number 2. They did take a loss to the Chargers. Raiders are 2-0 right now. The Buccaneers are 2-0. These are all teams at the top that wasn't playoff teams last year. These are all teams that we had questions. We wanted to find out who they would be and what they could be. And early on, they're showing us who they are and who they can be. NFL is forever changing, man. Things never stay the same, man. You're always going to have guys that's standing on top of the hill and people shooting up at the hill, trying to knock them off the hill, throwing rocks at the crown, It's always going to be that way. So, you got the Browns, who wasn't a playoff team for 2 years straight, sitting at number 2 right now. Number 1 in the hitter standings, right?
Yeah.
You got the hot Eagles. Just a year ago, this Philadelphia Eagles team played in the NFC Championship game. Although a game they would love to forget, the experience of taking that team to a NFC Championship game should motivate them and have them ready to go back. It should give you the energy of, we got here before, now let's take the next step and get past that game. All right, they just played their 3rd game which they took a loss to the Chargers. That was a family affair, right? Both the coaches are relative. They are actually cousins. So, this was at the middle of the 50s, shake hands, talk about things. But this is bragging rights for the Chargers when they go to Thanksgiving dinners or any type of barbecues or, you know, family reunions and things like that. The Chargers coach can say, well, we got y'all. We beat y'all ass too. So when we advance, the Eagles will fall out of that number 2 spot. They won't fall far, though. Again, Las Vegas Raiders, man. And their new quarterback, right? Their new quarterback, Jalen Milroe, has this team 2-0, 73 points scored, 52 points against. And they are sitting at number 3 right now on the hitters top 10 list. 4, Buccaneers. Malik Willis is over there sitting at 2-0 as well. And it seems like, again, when you get your quarterback and then you go get your receiver, get him a target, and they do exactly that, and then you look in their backfield is not bad at all. You start to see them putting some pieces together over there. The Bucs sitting at 2-0 right now. Seahawks. This is the team that snuck into the playoffs last year and the 7th seed, lost right away. But they continue to build from, the start of, right? Their start off with double picks, and they were able to get some pieces built. But they took a different route. They didn't attack the draft and continue to build young pieces on top of young pieces. They went and hit free agency hard and hit the trade market hard and brought in veterans. I think Dak Prescott, we thought his career was over. And now he's the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks right now. He has his team 3-0.
Some of these guys we was telling people to go get. People went and got them, and now look at this.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys sleep on people, and then guys that need that one. Like, this is a playoff team that knew if we can get us a secure veteran at quarterback, we can enhance our play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just look at the points for versus points against. 148 points scored to 77. They are in a comfortable situation. You think DK Metcalf is not excited the fact that he has a veteran quarterback that can make things happen. It changes the way DK looks now. Now DK is stepping into that role of, remember me. Don't forget about I can be the top receiver in this league.
Mm-hmm. Damn near unguardable sometimes.
At number 6, the Mighty Lions. The Lions are now, in my opinion, a Super Bowl or bust team.
Is that after getting there next year or on their way to getting there next year and how they did it that you moved them into that category?
Take a look at that roster.
And they ain't got a rookie QB no more. He a veteran now. He's seasoned.
They are Super Bowl or bust. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I just wanted to see when you came up with that change of pace
coming into this year, I deemed them, now that the quarterback's X factor, he's not a rookie anymore. He's had a full season of football. Although he's still young, and the young things will happen. I just think this team, the way they're built, Super Bowl or bust team.
Definitely got the defense for it. I think the offense will continue to catch up throughout the season, honestly, which is crazy for like somebody like Falk. But after playing him, I think the defense gets stops on certain people or at certain times. The way that they've been doing, it makes the offense, a little bit easier when they go out there and play in short field positions or not having to, play the long game all the time sometimes either. So I think this would be a defensive-led team, but I agree. Super Bowl contenders. But definitely a team that's I'm willing to put marbles in will represent the NFC.
You can say their defense can line up with anybody, but I also going to argue their offense is the same way. They got dog at the receiver position, dog in the backfield, and one of the best offensive lines, and one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. This team is ready to go on both sides of the ball. They are ready, and they should be primed to be playing, and nothing should come out of that building except for talk about Super Bowl or bust. Granted, every team still have holes and can add spots and fix some things over there, but I like what they got up front on their offensive line. I will argue that they have a top five offensive line in this league right now.
I'd definitely say top 10 without really looking. Top 5 defensive line though for sure.
Top three
I would say top three defensive line.
defense.
This is just no looks, but yeah, I mean I could go for it. This is just a full out no look.
At number 7, you got the Tennessee Titans is back in the building now. They're playing their games now. They're sitting at 2-1. They just lost a big time game over the LA Rams. But this team's sitting at 2-1 now. They will drop out of the top 10 in my opinion when we advance. But that's a team to take a look at. They do have a solid roster. These guys got some young pieces, especially on defense. That defensive front four is solid. They got a solid cornerback room. We know what they got at the quarterback position and at the receiver level. Now it's to see what they're doing at the running back level if they can enhance their offense at any further than what they are right now. At number 8, you got the 2-0 Packers. And they're sitting at number 8. This is the playoff team from last year. This is the team that came in second place in their division. This is the team that stacked double-digit wins thus far every year. So the Packers are sitting right there. Hendon Hooker is a really good quarterback in this league. And, he continues to stack the chips, man. Continue to stack chips on top of chips on top of chips. They better go all in. And, arguably you can say he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league and that this guy is a playoff quarterback.
Definitely underrated quarterback.
And you start talking about 9 right now, and the Bears, they take a loss in their game against the Raiders. They're 1-1 sitting at 9, so we know that will change on where their position at, depending on what they do in their game tonight. And then there's the Super Bowl champ sitting at 10 right now, and they're 2-1. Their only losses to a top 5 team in the Lions, right? Top 16, top 10 team in the Lions right now. Anytime Patrick Mahomes is behind the huddle and he's commanded that offense, and we have a situation. This Chiefs team is looking to repeat. They're looking to do what they did and follow that up with a better season again this year. And they're in a good situation, and they had a great start to their season thus far right now. And then there's 11, the Jets, 12, the Chargers, 11, 13 with the Bills. Panthers are at 14, and the Saints are at 15. They're the guys peeking in the window. Again, when we advance, we'll find out, what's what, who's who, in your real top 10. Right now, there's games being played, games not played yet, that will determine what his top 10 look like going forward. How about these Browns, though, man, sitting at 2-0, man? I would like to go to their schedule and see what they've done so far in their 2 games and who they played. Just to get a good look at, some of these teams that have early success right now. So they went into, they were home against the Jets, and they won that game 27-21. I think scores tell some things, too, right? Steelers 34-10. All right, they come up. They got the Bengals this week. We'll see at Cincinnati what happens in that game. Then from Cincinnati, they travel to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills, and then they're right back home against Cincinnati again. Now, let's talk a little bit about the 2 games that they played and what they did. First of all, they have a diaper dandy at the quarterback position, which is always cool to see. Ty Thompson, in his first game as an NFL quarterback, had a 98.2 QBR, 257 yards thrown, threw a touchdown, threw an interception. He was sacked 4 times in that game, still pulled the win out. New starting running back, Deuce Vaughn got the ball 26 times in that game. He had a touchdown in that game for 3.3 yards a pop. I want to know at the receiver position is who's the guy over there. So Jermaine Terry, the tight end from Oregon State, had 7 catches in that victory. But Jordan Addison, let's talk for this a little bit, Max. Jordan Addison was one of the best receivers to come out of their draft in 2023 draft class. Is it a quarterback problem that has Jordan Addison not playing up to what we think he should be playing up to, considering who he was coming out of 23 draft? Or is it the quarterback situation? Now that they have their guy, do you think Jordan Addison numbers become better? Like a guy like Jordan Addison coming out of a game with 1 catch, 15 yards in the Jets game. And we haven't really heard his name over the last few years, but we could say they've been having issues with Deshaun Watson at the quarterback position. Now they feel like they got their man. What do we see with Jordan Addison going forward?
I would hope we would see, wide receiver 1 energy. I think Addison has a full route tree underneath him. Can do things after the catch. Can help open up other guys as far as just depending on if you put the right scheme with him. You know, counterpart with him with him with the big body wide receivers. I think you could get in a nice counterpart with. As Addison does have decent speed. I just think they got to be able to whatever scheme and plan that they have going forward, because you know the Browns are making not to me just a roster change, but a franchise change in the next, you know, this year and next year. I think that Addison's got to be, you know, one of the guys that you look at and you project out with him getting the second contract and all of that. So I would like to see him just get the ball in his hands more, by any means necessary. And then I think they'll be able to even tell what type of player that they have, because you know Addison's a dog. Deserves to be up in the top of the names as far as tier, you know, one or two wide receivers in the league. Um, just based off of talent, real life talent that I know you represented well inside of his player card. So I just think, you know, they just got to give him the ball, continue to put him in situations.
Yeah, I think it's super young, right? When it comes down to grading out guys from their draft class, I think you wait for their first contract to be up to really take a deep dive into who they are and who they were. Considering what all the experts said about these guys coming out of college and entering the NFL, and then you want to see, you know, if it adds up to, you know, that second contract or not. Obviously, they're going to get graded off of what their performances is, right, or the talent that they have on their roster will determine the type of contract he gets when it's time for him to get paid. I do would like to see more out of
Not
Jordan
only
Addison.
that, the bar got set very high for young wide receivers
Yeah, very
coming
high.
out.
Hmm.
You
Fast
know,
too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
real fast.
and
Like
he's still. I
extreme.
mean, that
Like
ain't got to be everybody's
he's still
story,
young,
but
right? But some of his abilities could get overlooked just because how hard about how high the bar actually got set. So it might actually take the full duration of his first contract to really see. But then too, with Cooper up out of there,
that's
I
what I was
believe
saying. With Coop up out of
he could
there,
really be he
and
Who's
it's not
their
could
like he
number
really
ain't
one
be
built.
receiver though over there? Seems like the tight end is getting all the targets, but is Jordan Addison their guy? Like, is he the number one?
Not by Not by receptions, but I mean, to me, overall and build, I think he should be. Elijah Moore has 6 catches for 123 and a touchdown. That just tells me speed. And then he's double wheeled in the tight ends, dual wheeled in the tight ends, Jermaine Terry and Joku. And then he's just got speed, Schwartz, and he's got Moore, and I think Addison should really just be like, it should be wide receiver one type time for Addison. Maybe schematically they need to move him to wide receiver two so they can get him more open, or maybe put him in a slide and let the speed receivers work the outside. He doesn't really have a big body receiver. Elijah Moore's 5'10", Schwartz is 6 foot, and Addison's 5'11". I I'm just
got a
interested on
rookie
where he's at
QB.
on the field. Yeah,
So
I
it's like
mean,
that's understandable why tight end is getting a lot of targets. I just
hmm
think it's a wait and see as to sale. Then I'm sure they're running some type of new system
You know, you got a young
quarterback.
quarterback. You know, his best friend is a great running back in the backfield or tight end at the end of the day, right?
Tight end. So
Makes it
that's what I
safer
think.
to play football. But the thing is this: you want to see
especially with
Jordan
everything
Addison
in these
going up
tight ends.
against. You want to know if he's your number one, right? The only way you're gonna find out if he's your number one is seeing him win against top tier corners, number one corners. So the only way you're gonna do that is having him at the number one receiver, right? Where he draws that attention to guys such as, you know, uh, the Tyreek Woolens of the leagues, the Stingleys of the leagues, the Sneeds of the leagues, the Horns of the leagues. Those type of guys line up against him and see what type of work he can get done at that number one receiver. Now, scheme wise, obviously you want to move him around and do some things with him, but I think they got to answer that question because this is a household name. He's a big time player, and we want to see if that, you know, I mean, obviously as of right now, when it comes down to negotiations, does he have a ground to stand on? They can almost determine what they want to do with him versus him and his agent going in there dictating what they want. And I just think for an offense to be explosive, you have to have a number one. You see what the number one receivers in this league are doing. If you want to compete and you want to continue to compete, now there's nothing wrong with being a team that involves their offense is their weapon, right? uh,
Right.
versus the player being a weapon for you. They're all like if you go in Carolina, that receiver Quentin is a weapon. You have to defend that weapon. You have to scheme around that weapon. Well, maybe the Browns with a young quarterback, young receiver room, young running back room, maybe they want their offense, their system to be more important than an
Dennis.
individual player. And however the ball is distributed is off of how they're running their
Madden
plays
family.
versus you know if I had Jordan Addison, I'm getting him the ball because I'm scheming for him to get the football. But some guys might have an offense where whoever's open is going to get the football. Do you see that here? Maybe that's something that we not saying about the Browns and what they got going on.
Yeah,
Um,
that could be. I think that could be it, especially with the young quarterback.
Hmm.
That's why I say it
yeah.
might take the duration of no quarterback. It might take duration of his of Addison first contract to see his growth in the new scheme
Right.
of things.
I mean, I still think he's eligible to be 1,000 yard. I think he's eligible to be 1,000 yard receiver, which to me would be a big leap or close. I feel like he even starting off slow early. I just think, like I said, if you're giving him the chance and the opportunity, like Snake, I mean not Snake, like Ant said, throwing him the ball, getting him like obviously we can't see the targets, but like I need to see him with more catches than 3 on the year. That's week 3.
Oh,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like I just
definitely.
think if you give him the opportunities, you might be surprised. He is a superstar. He's very well built. 93 at the deep threat, all the way to 90 at slot. So he's remaining within 3 overalls right there. I mean, he's not the fastest guy, but like I said, like you know what I'm saying, I'm looking at other guys, Armon St. Brown, even shit Drake London, like guys that don't got the biggest speed but can get in and out of routes and have good hands. I just think he's gotta be touching the ball. So that's why I said maybe a depth chart move. Maybe if he's at the 1, move him to 2. Maybe if he's at 2, move him to slot. Understand your offense a little bit more and maybe what you're attacking or how you're attacking it. And I think you can get better production out of him, honestly.
1,000 yard receiver is the norm in this league right now. That's not even like to
That's
me.
what I'm saying. That's
You
manageable.
know, yeah, 1,000 yard receiver is like everybody got
For a
those.
number one receiver.
I mean, yeah, but like from like, all right, if you're not a dick rider, 1,000 yard receiver in your offense is like that. That should be a goal. That's a solid goal to go out there and do. How many 1,000 yard receivers doesn't matter, but if you're trying to build somebody's rapport and start their legacy or start their contribution to the team, 1,000 yards, either running back or receiver, and double-digit touchdowns is a perfect place to start.
Yep, I agree.
And
Couldn't agree
I just
more.
think that's what you should go for. If you fall short, then at least you know that you can look at your end of the season if you're 967 yards or 900, or even if you're 823 yards and 8 touchdowns, like you put that into him. I promise you, it will come out in the it will show when you go to throw him those important third downs, those important second downs. It'll show that you have gave this guy a peace of mind and some development.
Listen, the
Damn,
Literally
you
didn't
just
crack
confidence,
cussed
a
out a
thousand.
dick rider.
There's more
the
than one.
confidence you instill in a player will determine the confidence he show you on field. You're 100% right there.
On the field.
You got to get them motherfuckers
Exactly.
active. They got to be actively doing things. Like if you ain't, what I mean, you got to try get the ball to him because the more you get the ball to him, the more he'll come up clutch for you when you really need him. So I get it. So right now, this is a young football team, young offense. They. I mean, Nick Chubb is not in the building anymore. Amari Cooper's gone. Deshaun Watson's not the starting quarterback over there anymore. I mean, like their most veteran player, really, that's a name on this team. That's been one of the superstars on this team is Myles Garrett on the defensive side of things. So like this offense can be shaped into whatever way their coach is trying to shape them into. Right now they're 2-0. Um, you can ask for a better start than that if you're the Cleveland Browns. All right, we're 2-0 right now, and we still got guys not playing up to the ability that we think that when we drafted them, we think they would
Of
give
a
us. They
rookie
haven't played them
quarterback.
good. Yes, sir, with a rookie
Our
quarterback.
rookie late pick quarterback.
This was one of our highlighted teams when we talked about contracts or how to manage the team and all that. He did nothing we talked about. Absolutely
At
not a
all.
thing we talked about.
Nobody went on the block. Nobody got cut. He didn't eat the Sean penalty. I like to see him 2-0 though. It's just like the damn son. Like, did you sell yourself short? And I
Nah,
think he
he two
did.
and zero. He
I mean,
not.
I
They're
just
not
think he
gonna
did.
think that. It comes down to wins and
No, I
losses
just
at the end of the
yeah.
day.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, like I said, when I think even and crazy if you want, I think even Chubb on an expired contract could have still got him a pick if you put him on the block during the course of the season, or even at the end of the season. I just think you missed out on opportunities. Not necessarily saying it's making you pay for it right now because you're 2-0. So at the moment, you're all good with what decisions you made. But did you sell yourself short? I think so, just because
Just
it
about
could
the
have been actually.
moment is also about the future. So I agree with you. Like, what
Yeah,
happens
just
later
a
on
little
down the
bit.
line? You might be getting by with it
Who,
now. What
him,
happens?
Garrett, you know what I'm saying? Money wise, could you have dealt with Deshaun taking that fat cut? You since you didn't make no trades, could you have got Deshaun's money out the way? Maybe re-signed another veteran quarterback to just help train your rookie quarterback. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways where I think you just cut yourself short. You gave yourself the short end of the stick when there was plenty of options and these guys went through.
I don't think
Y'all went
Deshaun
through
Watson would
all
be
the
a problem
options.
for him though, because I think Deshaun is comfortable with fuck it. I'm paid. You know what I'm saying? I think he
Paid?
already
Yeah,
made up his
nah,
mind. Like,
nah.
look, it is what it is. My tenure in Cleveland wasn't nothing that was supposed to be what they paid me to be. But guess what? They was forced to have to still pay that bread. So I'm cool.
And
Deshaun
the
is set for
same
life.
token, yeah, the same token. I don't know if he's on the trying to be 30 this year too, so we know how that goes.
True, true.
So he didn't maybe
Maybe just take
all
the
the
one
way.
year buster at it. Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck it. Eat the
he,
consequences.
but he just straight out boom just
Injuries
because
is
of production
real.
he
All
getting
that
out.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
could see it.
All right. So
That's
how
why I
about
said, but more, yeah, what pans out? I would like to see this Brown team. They finish anywhere from 6 to 10 wins. I think we're in the right steps, going the right direction. That's only four more, but his schedule obviously should and will probably pick up. I know he's a fourth place schedule, but still gonna pick up with guys that are other fourth place schedules that are hungry.
in our way
Or
too early conversations of playoff teams, do you see the Browns being in the playoffs this year?
no, only because I think the Ravens will low key start to get it together. Hopefully,
I
it's a
don't know.
far
They still
fetched
giving
one,
out
but
first wins right now, man. So I don't know about that.
yeah,
How
yeah.
about how about this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team who picked in the top 10 this year, um, who was just in the playoffs the year before, had to figure some things out, and now they're back at it. They're 2-0 in two big games, two playoff teams. They went 52-42 and 57-52. Dolphins versus Saints. So they went to Miami and won 52-42, and then they stayed home against the New Orleans Saints and won 57-52. They got the Jets coming up, Panthers coming up, Seahawks, Cardinals, Panthers. That's their remaining schedule before they go into their Week 8 bye. All right, so obviously it's comfortable to start off, especially playing two playoff teams like that and start off 2-0. What is let me how on that. So what would you say, Max, is the reason why the Bucks are 2-0 right now? What's different
I
from
mean,
last year
it
to this year?
starts by wanting to win. I guess it's not
Yeah.
like Antonio was ever a bad player. I think at a lot of times I could put Antonio in top 15, if not, when he's on his shit. I placed Antonio top 12 on our list. So I think he's got the capability. I think putting it together, playing, building that, building his offense. You know what I'm saying? Receivers, um, tight end. They got an establishment with their quarterback as far as understanding what type of quarterback they got. Like I said, one of the better players in the league, but definitely like the best freeform thrower I think we got in the league. And I just think when you got that advantage and you know what you're doing, put together some nice shit and you can make drives happen. And then you go out there and get a spot running back with speed. I think they're just starting to cater to what they're starting to see is working in the league, and then playing a good scheme on offense. I don't really know much about their defense as far as actual gameplay, but I know that the Bucks start off with a really old defense, obviously. So I think that their front seven, now that I'm looking at it, has got tremendously young. They flipped all the way around there, so I think they're just starting to gel up now. You got some guys on one and
Jones.
two, well, 1, 2, and 3 years in this D tackle and linebacker and end room. So I think they're just starting to put the shit together finally, and they're getting games.
All right, man. Malik Willis is flinging the ball, especially in week one. He did some really good things in that game. 381 yards passing, 6 touchdowns versus one pick. Only been sacked twice in that first matchup against the Dolphins. 65% throwing the football. 14.7 yards a play. He was throwing downfield a whole lot. Malik Willis. My only question about the Bucks is how long Can the Bucks win ball games? In my opinion, without a proven running back in their backfield. I think most of us would see a superstar on Rashad White and say proven. But when you're a coach that's not known for running the football, how important it is to sew up that backfield.
Um, without giving
Got a
away too much,
rotation.
I
Got a
think it's
rotation of
extremely
guys
important.
in there.
I mean, obviously they're looking for something out of the running back room. They just made a
I think
trade
that
for a
means they
running back.
recognize.
And for the
Oh,
speed, and I think that's where we can go. I think that's exactly where I'm going first. I think Rashad White is there for the big games. I think Antonio is, capable of building players and um, putting together scheme with his shit, with the players he's got. I just think it's if he's a runner, if he wants to be a thrower, which is true to what he is, um, running back by committee shouldn't be something he's scared of, and it puts less pressure on him to have 30 carry games. You know what I'm saying? You can have a nine with White, six with Salam. That's 15 carries, right? And you still throw the ball, but you change pace of the game a couple times. You don't let the AI, the defense catch on, and yada yada yada. And you're just not one sided. It's hard being a one sided, predictable player in a sense and win certain ball games. The top people are not going to just let you throw the ball 40 times a game against them. So I think you got to give them something, to kind of, even if they don't really respect it, you got to at least show them that you're willing to run the ball. I think for multiple reasons, not just AI, but like against players and shit like that too. So I just think until then they'll kind of like lose some games that they shouldn't lose. Honestly, based off of them just being a team that I could just go out there and pass commit all game against.
I'm gonna tell you this though, the Bucks are primed to be a playoff team. The problem I got, their division is really good, really good. And if to get through the division schedule itself is brutal, right? Or they could beat up on each other over there big time. Um, but if there's any team that can get three in, it'll be to me it will be this division in the
NFC
NFC.
South, yep.
And we'll see how things go going forward. Right now they had a good start though. You talked about their defense being old and some of the guys they lost
To
over
start,
there,
yeah.
right? But I think one bright spot they can look at is Dijon Nugget Warren, Jackson State, undrafted to a superstar corner over here, got really good combine numbers, which turns him into a really good corner if he's right. Like this is a guy that was coached by Deion Sanders, and he's pretty much to me their leader in the cornerback room over there.
Hold up, you said undrafted free agent?
Yep. No, he
Hey
drafted
man,
him. No, he drafted him. He
drafted
drafted
him.
him.
Oh,
He
I was about
drafted
to
him. He
say,
drafted him.
well, still, hey, Jackson State, man. All I'm gonna say is, man, look, Demetri Jordan, Dejon Warren,
Isaiah Bolden.
Bolden. I was about to say, you got Bolden, who's in Atlanta now. Like, look, yeah, man, the prime effect is real. Even when he's not there no more, these guys is doing shit. But go ahead. What was you saying?
I think they're still in the midst of putting it together, right? But I think they're got a good enough team that they can win now. While they're trying to still get it together. Like my thing is just more development over here than anything.
Yeah, because like I said, the Bucks start old and they get young. You might be able to hit on the talent, and you might be able to hit on, even if you hit on the abilities in those positions that you lost, the Vita Vey, the Shaquille Barrett, Levante David, you still got Devin White. None of the corners really ever have abilities when you start over here with Carlton, Dean, and Bunton, but you know they are three good caliber corners that can go and start for most other teams. I think the development comes like it's hard to replace that development so quick because like in those guys that we named, they're high awareness guys. Vita Veas, the Davids, the Barretts, like they're high awareness, high play rec, high overall guys, and I think that drop off is usually a lot harder than people would like to give respect for. I know Snake can attest. He's had the Bucks. I've had the Bucks in a different league. When they're gone, it's gone. You gotta like if you don't got them really there,
Shaq
it
Mason,
can
Shaquille
yeah,
Barrett,
it can
freaking
hurt. Mike, even the offense, Evans,
Mike
Godwin,
Evans,
like it
Godwin.
just
That
once you
transition
it
is
takes the
real.
transition is a 2 to 3 year transition.
Mm-hmm.
Snake and other good GMs can make that shit happen in a year and a half sometimes. And it's not that Antonio's not good as a GM. I just think I don't think he's willing to do some of the shit that Snake is or me as far as GM shit. So like I think he took it his way,
Shit.
and now we're seeing year three
Yeah.
where he'll kind of like I think he'll make the playoffs this year.
I
His
don't
way
He'll get
was
his
think.
way.
losing out. His way was losing out last year. He jumped that curve by trading for the veteran Malik Willis
Mm-hmm.
and developing
And then
him something and
developed
bringing
him.
him
Yep.
along.
To
So
superstar at that,
HHH.
and then the tight end, and then the running back. That's what I said. I like what he did year
he
one,
got some
and maybe
pieces.
his year two adjustment was I got a tank. I can't follow up with another good year like that, but then not make the playoffs because then I don't win in the off season.
What would
So
y'all
like,
say to me saying I don't think he wouldn't move GM wise like you or Snake? I think he tried in his real drive, and nobody wants to come up off of shit for those type of players. You got
I
to be
think
a
I only
guy that
say
rely on veterans that want those
he
players.
waited. He waited too long to put him on the block, though. All of them should have been on the block year one. He still played out year one.
Yeah, he
That's
was
why I
he
say
was
it's a
all
little bit
in year
different.
one. He was all
Yeah,
in
I
year
would,
one.
and a snake might have not have would have. I might not have would have in RDL because it's RDL. I wouldn't have waited till year two. I think I would have blew that shit up the moment I got there, knowing it's the Bucks. I could go all in, but it's not the same all in with Brady. It's not the same when you go all in with Brady when you go all in with no Brady because you traded for Malik Willis, but like he was a star, a lower star at that. He wasn't OD. So like I just think it's a little bit different from when Snake had the Bucks, he had a lot of leverage with Tom Brady, and then he leveraged up again
Man,
on
you can buy that
quarterback,
retirement package.
and
Oh,
then you can do
that's
some shit
another
with it.
thing.
You could, yeah, like I just think year one because it's RDO, year one he should have blew this shit up, and he might have would have had a different outcome, but maybe not. Like that's what I said. Maybe the way he
Dull
played it was good.
I-cigarettely
Got a
flattering
quarterback,
human fire.
still managed to do some building.
Man,
Know that he can make the playoffs year one, so then when he tanks year
Mass
two,
disposal.
made it
he
to the
come back year
Flattering
playoffs.
three
It's
human
and
proud
kind
of
of
fire.
like
saying,
and then yeah, you come back year
oh
two and
shit.
be like, all right, fuck it. And then year
What's
three,
some
he go out
comments
there and get
saying?
in the playoffs.
I ain't got my phone
And they
rapping.
gonna say they all high right now. They let me fry. Oh my god!
I
All
just
right,
got off of
fellas.
work. I can't even.
Let's turn the tables a little bit and let's talk about some. Let's predict some things right now, man. I'm at the quarterback list of stats. I'm gonna see the stats. I know it's early, man. Not enough games played to really be, but I want predictions here, man. All right, so I'm gonna go. And either one of y'all can answer this whenever y'all feel like it. Fucking sneak. Oh my god, niggas bomb. All right, so Drake May right now, man. What type of season do y'all expect to come from Drake May right now? He has 17 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions,
MVP
71%.
season.
Go ahead, talk to me.
Top five MVP candidate, or
Hmm.
definitely MVP candidate come the end of the year. If I say MVP season, I'm just gonna say they can be on that MVP list. You know what I mean? That's that MVP tier fighting for MVP, but MVP tier quarterback. Veteran season now, so it's now it's not you're not a rookie no more, so now you got expectations.
No doubt,
It's
I
just
agree.
point
On
blank.
pace for a
And so
crazy
far,
season.
he's on his season is starting off. That pace is crazy. Like, look, 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 71%, 421 yards a game, 133.9, 134 QBR, 14.5 yards a play. Only been sacked 3 times thus far. There again, that's why I tell you that offensive line is very strong over there. I think guys really don't realize how good that O line is. Um,
Expectations here, X Factor quarterback now also, so it's like he
mhm.
not playing them up to from superstar. He playing with expectations now.
Yes, sir. All right,
Yeah.
man. The $400 million man, Justin Herbert, sitting here at number 2. What's y'all predictions on his season this year?
I think he'll go.
Hold on,
Think
man.
he'll,
Go ahead and come to that same man. Just speak
One
up,
of
bro.
Madden's
I think he'll
employee of
go
those
top five.
days.
Um, the picks is a little concerning this early, but I mean it's still early. I think he'll go top five. I think is that really like it won't be nothing new for Herbert. I think they could go top five. He'll be in the
Yeah.
MVP conversation, be in the quarterback of the year conversation. His team won't have any more than 4 to 6 losses. Um, I think this year
Right in the playoff
what
picture.
everybody's trying to see though, or what people are trying to see is can he lead the young receiver room into a strong season.
That's a great fucking point you
I
just made
that's the
right
way
there.
that's
That's
the
a
way I put it.
great
I put
fucking
his
point
season
right
like
there.
that.
What
He's got
type
to
of real
be.
leader is he? Can he thrust those young receivers into roles where him being the X factor, him being a veteran on his team, he can get out get what you getting out of your receivers over there. Kansas City. Can Herbert, kind of do the same thing?
That's what comes with
Because he
being a
needs to
$400 million quarterback.
and he
You
flat
gotta
out needs to be able to do that too. So like, it's almost a necessity for Justin Herbert to lead a bunch of young guys like that because they did clean
Developing
house.
that tight end last year will help him out though.
Yeah, big time, big time,
And
big
he
time,
still got some running backs to lean on.
big time. I mean, they got Eckler still in the building. That's from the veteran presence that they can lean on. Their running back that they have to back him up is still developing into a big time back as well. You can figure it out there. But at the receiver room, they clean house. I mean, no more Mike Williams, no more Keenan
Keenan
Allen,
Allen.
even at the tight end, no more Gerald Everett. Like they clean house. I know they replaced the tight end already. We've seen that. This guy's a superstar in this league. Shador Trayor, he's a dog. But again, I like that. Can Justin Herbert lead that young receiver room to the promised land, to success?
That's what comes with being a $400 million man.
All right, we got the guy Davis Richards from LA, man, who, this was the most explosive offense in the league last year. He's sitting here with 13 touchdowns, 8 INTs, but he's at 55% completion percentage. Now, how much of that is the shots they take versus, they're not cleaning up the field. They're not dink and dunking you, hitting short routes, hitting medium. They're launching that ball up and down the field. They're averaging 12 points. They average 13 yards to play right now. He got 102 point QBR, sacked 7 times, 13 touchdowns, 8 INTs. What is the expectations for Davis Richards?
I got one thing to say. He ain't got to worry about me because when I play him, I'm going on auto this year.
Oh, niggas ain't shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
I think with him with 89 attempts. Nah, actually, I'll put it like this. The niggas got 49 completions and the same yards as the top two quarterbacks.
God.
He's got 49 completions and the same yards as the top two quarterbacks.
And we just going to label this motherfucker as usual the most disrespectful motherfucker in the league, dog. He just disrespectful Richards. DR for real.
Let me ask y'all though, like, can we see a follow up, to last year's offensive performance out of the LA Rams? Are we gonna see a follow up? Like that show is here to stay, the greatest show on turf. Is that here to stay?
I think so.
70,
He did it with Daniel Jones.
Touchdowns.
This the first time he done had my fault, Max. This the first time he done had that QB in the same system. Like I think it can possibly get cleaned up just a little bit and get a little bit better. We seen him try to play around in the draft a bit as well over there. Put some more pieces around that young fellow over there.
They went and attacked protection like a motherfucker for Davis Richards. They went and got the protection. Flat out went and got the protection.
Man.
They're the only other team in the league that went offensive line in their first 2 picks.
Wow. So when everybody was complaining and talking about doing that offensive line, only 2 teams did it for real, huh?
Yep.
Now, I'll ask this. Did he get all wins, though? Because he traded a superstar.
Yeah, he won. He got both the Colorado guys. He got Savion Washington, the book and right tackle for Coach Prime had over there with Sean Lewis. And then they got Tyler Brown that was with Prime for Jackson State and Colorado, and they got two, and listen, Tyler Brown is an ox. He is strong as an ox. They get the threshold, they will block it up. And then what happens when you got a team that launches the ball the way they do, and they're blocking?
Mm-hmm.
It's the long game, bro. You got to play the long game, and I think for a coach to understand that, we lost the Super Bowl to Joey Bosa. We lost the playoff game to a strong run game and defensive pressure. At the end of the regular season last year, we lost the division. Lost the conference championship pretty much to be first place to the Double H boys. Everything came back to their GM and their scouting board as we have to protect our quarterback. If he's protected, he's one of the most scariest, dangerous quarterbacks in the league. So therefore, we got to do exactly that, and they did do that. They did it in a big way. They went and got certified guys that should come in right away.
He's the most disrespectful quarterback in the league. He's throwing it, and then he's throwing it in any coverage because he think he can go get it. Dr. Disrespectful Richards.
Davis Disrespect Richard. Disrespectful Richard. DR. Disrespectful Richard. I like that. DR. Disrespectful Richards. All right. Look at Patrick Mahomes sitting here, man. This man is sitting on his third Super Bowl. And he won a big time Super Bowl last year.
Dad,
What?
2K23 is on sale. It's $14.
What?
I said 2K23 is on sale on the Xbox and it's $14.
Okay.
Can I get it?
Yeah, give me a second.
Alright, I'll come back in like
Okay. It's on, and it's for Xbox?
It's on Xbox, like digital.
Only Xbox.
Okay. All right.
I won't be surprised.
Wait for Erica to come back. She got my card. Wait for her to come back. All right. All right. So Patrick Mahomes wins his Super Bowl last year. Patrick is getting up there right now, though. I will say this: in 2 seasons of Patrick Mahomes being, the man over there for the Kansas City Chiefs, it seems like a lot of wear and tear has been happening over there with Patrick Mahomes. I believe he is the face of the league right now.
He's right now at this Super Bowl win.
I believe he's the face of the league right now.
To the face of the league right now.
So what's the expectations for Patrick Mahomes and this Kansas City Chiefs team?
Had to be Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah, it gotta be
quarterback over there is Super Bowl or bust.
I mean, when I was watching RDL's ESPN, and I was watching that fan base, who's one of the loudest fan bases in the world. It was a lot of running back signs in the stands, man. Run it back. And the one guy sign I really like, run it back again, 3 times.
I heard some rumblings about him wanting a raise over there. I don't know. They don't give him a raise. He think he's worth more. They don't give him a raise. Press his way out of there, or do they run it back?
If there's a quarterback in the league. If there's a quarterback in the league that can ask for that raise, it's definitely him.
Face of the league right now.
So look at what he's doing right now. 1,144 yards passing right now. He's 53, or is that 63 for 94? 8 touchdowns, 6 INTs, 67%, 381.3 yards a game, 110.4 QBR. He's been sacked 6 times. They are protecting him over there in Kansas City, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he can go cook the way he's cooking, because he's not getting pressured as much as, he was in year 1, right? They addressed that in the worst way. But all right, so talk to me, Snake. I wouldn't ask Max this question. I want you to answer this. What's expectations for Patrick Mahomes outside of winning the Super Bowl?
You expect Patrick Mahomes to continue to develop those young offensive pieces over there. He's the face of the league. You expect him at all the major press conferences,
right?
At all the kiddie events. He got a lot on his plate. He hosting the LPGA tour this year. Like, he got a lot on his plate, a lot of appearances. He's the face of the league. He got no strip clubs for him.
and then he got the big one that coming down in Washington during their bye week, where he's with the Alphabet crew, where he got to go down there with the LBGC, TBH, WR, the XYZ team to promote flag football for the big girls, or big guys, whatever you want to call them. So, he does have a lot of things on his plate right now, though. But
along with them Cincinnati Bengals coaches.
Let me ask you this. We know the jersey sales, but Adidas is trying to do a Michael Jordan type production with him with sneakers. Would it work? Could you ever see a guy, could you ever see a sneaker blow up the way Jordan's blew up? Especially from a football player, not basketball, right? Adidas got they called them the motherfuckers 3-Strike Patricks. Would you buy the Patty M's? And would you pay the price for the Patty M's? Now, I think the sneaker ugly as hell, because where the 3 Adidas stripes are, they got 3 Super Bowl trophies there. I do like the I do like the color. They patent leathers too, and I like the color scheme they got going with it. But when it comes down to sneakers in the NFL, I think Deion might have had the best pair. Bo Jackson's too. I love theirs. But like, can Patty Mahomes legacy, when it comes down to him stop playing
Can
football.
he do the Steph Curry?
That's the question I want to know.
Steph Curry turned Under Armour. Made people buy some Under Armours. I think he can. I think he can.
Let
Is
me
that
ask you
part of the
this.
reason why he's asking for more money to go to a bigger market to help life after football? Could that be part of the rumblings?
I think after
Hmm.
I think if I'm Patrick Mahomes, you think about legacy. How many trophies that Tom Brady get to hold up?
Bo
How many
Jackson sent a
rings? How many
tweet.
fingers he got? That Sports Illustrated centerfold.
Well, you wanna go out of this game as the best quarterback to ever walk the planet, right? And what will he have to do to be that though? Do he have to win more Super Bowls than Brady, or if he win 4 Super Bowls and then continue to be the magic magician he is he the best quarterback that we ever see walk the planet?
He could be bracing for that entitlement. I mean, he's been bracing for that entitlement. They've been questioning that. Was he in the Brady conversation before this past Super Bowl, right?
Hmm.
So I think that the only more Super Bowls and more wins could only help his
I
quest
know
to be
one
there.
thing. He need to go sit his little brother the fuck down. He need to go do that ASAP. Sit your little brother the fuck down. Calm
All
his
the
little
YouTube
goofy ass.
videos and
Calm his
trying
little
to
goofy ass
TikToking and
down
all this other stuff.
and all that. Cause fucking your legacy up, Pat. But all right,
Getting locked up and stuff.
all right. If you had to write an article on Patrick Mahomes, does he finish his career as a Kansas City Chief? Would it be in the Chiefs' power to lock him up right now, forever?
Um, I think this is the signature year. I think they running it. I think they run it back for sure. And I think this year will be telling. Can't never say never in the NFL. It's not for long league, so you never know.
Not at all. All right, so here go a name that Dakota, man, Dakota Prescott. Listen, as a Cowboy, some would say he was overhyped, or was he just due? Is my first question with Dakota Prescott. Overhyped or just due?
Um, call him a little bit overhyped, man. I think he came in at a good time, perfect time because Romo got
Mahomes
hurt
won't
and
play
it
as
just
long as
happened to just
Brady.
pass to him.
35 and he's done.
I just think he came in at the right time, and right now, I think he might even have been brought into a better situation. This might be the best situation, the best chance he has with these
Yeah,
young pieces
because
around here in Seattle.
as when he hold that star in the helmet, you're playing America's team, man. And I just think that it's the expectations are win one or not. Simple as that. And you got some history over there at that quarterback position in Dallas. And the fact is, I don't think he lived up to that to be able to be walking in the same on the same path as those type of quarterbacks that walked out of Dallas. But him in Seattle might be the best thing that could have ever happened to Dakota Prescott. Right, 9 years in right now as a in the league, and then not for nothing, he has the right system and weapons around him right now, man. To be able to be explosive. Let's take a look at what he's doing. 1082. He got 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. When we talking about a veteran quarterback, how ugly does that look at 57 completion percentage?
Uh, it could be a little bit better, but you could time it too, coming into a new offensive system late at the start of the season and being thrown right into the fire.
Okay. He's only been sacked 7 times right now, and he's averaging 361 yards a game. He does have 117 QBR. I like that, and 12.9. So they're throwing the ball downfield as well. In a division where they launch the ball all over the place. All right. So what's that Prescott's immediate future? What does he do for the Seattle Seahawks? These team was a playoff team, but Matt Corral at quarterback. Now they have an X factor veteran that's controlling that offense. Now, what does that do for the Seahawks?
I think in reference to Dak, his career has just been extended. Period. He went from holding a clipboard on the bench for what, 2 seasons or a season and a half?
So, yep.
Has it been 2 seasons? Definitely last season. But he found his way back in a starting lineup. I think if he cut his turnovers down and get that completion percentage raised just a little bit, they can possibly look to extend his career a little bit. But with that defense, and I think things revolve around that defense and what's his name, Nolan Smith, the defensive captain MVP over there,
Yes,
defensive
sir. Nolan Smith.
MVP in consideration. So
Mm-hmm.
that team relies so much more on defense now. He kind of fell into a good situation, veteran quarterback with a team that had multiple day one and day two draft picks, 2-3 seasons in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They ate very good and turned this team around real fast from
And he in the
Russell Wilson.
offense where you got the the leading rusher last year that broke records, right? They got a hell of a running
Yep.
back in the backfield. And then you keep looking at the surface of it. They got some good weapons at the receiver position and tight end
Top wide
position.
receiver,
Their offensive line is building.
pick six tight end.
So like when you a guy like a Dak Prescott and your future's over with the Cowboys, and you almost get an opportunity to get your agent to send you to where you want to go. I think just as much as the Seattle Seahawks wanted Dak Prescott wanted to be a Seattle Seahawk. I think he went into a perfect situation where he's the man again, but he's not asked to do the things he would have had to do as a Cowboy. He got pieces around him that can extend his career for another 5 to 6 years, in my opinion. I think Dak will be in the conversation of top quarterback this year. I think they will give him the opportunity. They will throw the ball a whole lot. We won't see the running back with 400 or 500 carries this year because of Dak Prescott. And DK Metcalf will benefit tremendously from that. AD too as well. So they got some pieces over there that Dak is going to be very, very comfortable with. I would say that he might got a better receiver room he has now in Seattle than he has had as a Cowboy quarterback over the last 8-9 years. But Dakota, man, he in a good situation, and he will be my dark horse MVP winner this year, in my opinion. Dark horse, Dakota Prescott. All right. As we go down this list, we're looking at Shedeur Sanders. Now, 1059, 13 touchdowns, 6 INT, 64% right now. The one pressing thing that I would sit here and pay attention to with Shedeur Sanders, and just talking to Coach Prime, they are not satisfied with what they're getting out of their offensive line right now. 12 sacks. Coach Prime said if you was to break up those 12 sacks to 6 and 6, 6 of them would be Shedeur's fault, 6 of them would be the offensive line's fault. They want to clean that up for sure, but the future is bright with Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's been on the surface yet on how good of the weapons that he have around him right now. That line becomes the line that they are expecting him to become. Shedeur Sanders has, one of the best offensive weapons team-wide that, any team in the league. They can line up with any team in the league right now, weapon-wise, and go player for player at those positions, and you get a win when it comes down to that. I think he's surrounded by the talent right now. And the good thing about the talent, from the protection to the weapons, they all growing up together. When you look into the future, the immediate future, this team played in the AFC Championship game. They want to show people that wasn't a fluke and that they belonged there. And I think that's going to be a hard task to do. One, they're playing a first place schedule this year. Two, they are a very young football team, and being a very young football team, you will have a lot of inconsistent football being played. Three, I don't think there's a team that's going to line up against them that's not going to want to beat them. So they're going to get their best efforts from everybody. They know that the Houston Texans team is not, the doormat team of the league that it's been over the last several years. Now this team expectations is risen. Everything has risen, man. Everything is flying high right now. Shedeur is one of the top jersey sellers in the league. They are getting more attention than, damn near any team in the league. And I just think, having a Shedeur Sanders and what I just explained about him, his future is this. If you fuck it up with that type of talent around you right now, then we start to talk about Shedeur in a different light. But if that talent all grow together the way, the pace that they on right now, if they grow together, this could be one of the most dangerous football teams we've ever seen create. With Shador as the face of that, which means how does he supplant all these Trey Palmers or the Drake Mays of the
These
league or
guys
the
already
or
have
the
1K yards in 2 games.
mhm, or the Bryce Youngs of the league or the who else? Will Levis is of the league. Richards. I mean, there's so many good quarterbacks in this league right now. How does he plant his flag in the middle of those great quarterbacks and show that he belongs and he's that guy and he belongs in the conversation of the top tier quarterbacks in this league right now, where we have a plethora of young quarterbacks versus guys that are their prime is over, guys that are in their prime. It's so much talent flying around at this position. It's scary. All right, so we're going to go down to Cunningham, Richards, and then KJ Jefferson, and then we'll go to the running back position. But I don't know where my guy's at. But the question I will ask those guys that are still
Go
on:
ahead.
what's
I'm
Shador's? What
here.
does it look like for Shador in his future?
Well, I heard directly from everybody in that camp that Shador had the ability to be the face of the league.
Them shits
Right.
gon' go out like hammer
Um,
pants.
when you come in speaking that in so many words, man, yeah, those are big pants to fill. No room for error. No margin for error. They had a good year when they came in, took that team from having the first pick in the draft to having a playoff pick. Went to the playoffs, got a win. So you expect nothing but he went to the AFC Championship game.
Yep.
You kind of expect nothing less than that.
But
Back this season.
is that unreasonable expectations though?
No, not really. Not when he made his rookie year. I don't think so. I'm in talk saying that you're the chosen one. I mean, those big expectations. What
Yeah, I was
do you
about
think,
to say, I
Max?
think the expectations is okay. Because, I mean, if you fall short, you fall short. And, there is facts just in the matter. You're young, got a young core, new coach in the league, as far as the NFL aspect of it as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, you have the expectations to push. But if you fall short, that doesn't necessarily mean a full character.
Failure.
That's your character or it's a failure because what I'm saying? In that season, I'm sure there was plenty wins. You just got to put the right amount of wins, and sometimes the game is just right day, right time. It's a every given Sunday league for a reason.
Yep.
That shit is true. The more people
Yep.
realize that, the more you kind of harp less on losses and kind of focus on what you did in the game. Could you bring yourself closer to a win? That's just the way it goes.
Losing to some losses, you got wins. Not get it twisted. Like one thing for certain, two things for sure. This is a very talented league. Oh, you got some players. It's pretty much any given Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily put everything on wins and losses, but you just want to see growth.
Mm-hmm.
They say most quarterbacks really show their year growth from year
He
one.
ballin' out, young man's
So this
confidence
year
is
too,
sky
that
high
window.
right now.
This is his second year, and the bar was set high. His rookie season, the bar was set high. I think Shador numbers won't be as good as they were as a rookie. And I think that will be a good thing, though. I think if his numbers is not as good as they were as a rookie, that means their offense is clicking on all cylinders. The main thing that I keep coming back to when you think about the Shador Sanders and what they got going on in Houston, they are all. This is one of the most talented teams in the league right now, and they all are in their first and second year of playing football in the NFL, and they're all going to grow together from weapons to protection. But they will grow together. And as long as they can keep the main thing, I think this team, is in a good situation going forward. The problem is how many other
How
teams
long can you keep
know and,
everybody
and keep
together?
everybody together with the GM skills, but how many other teams are in that exact same boat?
You
True.
got some teams that are in that boat, and you got some teams that will be getting worse. That'll be losing talent, and they haven't really spent the time developing some of their younger talent. So
It's a not for long league, like you said. This is very interesting going down the stretch, man. Like to see really what's going on right now, man. Like if you build it, they will come. Simple as that. All right. So next up, right now, with 10,000, I mean, with 1,049 yards passing right now, is Malik Cunningham. He's the only 1,000-yard quarterback on this list right now that has more interceptions than touchdowns right now. All right, we got to see this story from day one. Malik Cunningham went in the first round. I can argue that it was a reach. Would y'all agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, even at 32, it's still kind of a reach.
But I also can argue that he's not coming out, especially what he did at the combine and what he did for his last year in Louisville. I can also argue that he had a ceiling that can be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? But right now, who is Malik Cunningham? And I go to you first, Max, because you just played Malik Cunningham, so I'll go to you first. Who is Malik Cunningham?
um, I think because I'm more so, I gotta put blame on the offensive coordinator more so. I think even in our game, I really didn't get the full feel of who Malik Cunningham was because I just like the offense felt limited. Um,
The thing is, when you attracted to go get a Malik Cunningham right out of this year's draft, I mean, out of the first draft, you see very good 40 time, very good combine numbers, and the athletic part of a quarterback, right? Like this is, a guy
yeah,
that can run. This is a guy that is very talented. Shut it up. This is a guy that's very
Save this
talented.
guy.
When I get off my show, I got you. So Malik Cunningham, to me though, was it the right fit for the Giants, right? Because when you on surface, when you grab a Malik Cunningham, you're looking at a guy that at Louisville they were calling him Lamar 2.0. So the question is there scheme, the right scheme for where he went?
I just
Because
don't
how do
think.
you?
Yeah, I just
It's
don't.
not. It's
That's why I
not
said I blame
AR.
the
It's not
offensive
AR. Right?
coordinator.
4.40.
The speed of the game
AR
is
got the
fast and
speed of
severe.
any.
Heavy loss.
He's a fast ass quarterback. It's not. It's not Justin Fields. These guys are running. This is a quarterback that has to be in a running type scheme for the quarterback. And is he in that right scheme right now? Like you don't go get a Malik Cunningham to sit back there and dot the field up. You get a Malik Cunningham to be an athlete at the quarterback position that can throw the ball but make things happen with his legs as well. Are they doing that? And is he in the right system?
I just don't think. Yeah, the system is not right, which is why I was saying I blame the offensive coordinator in a sense because like
Mm-hmm.
it's either you got to change the system or you got to change your personnel, and it doesn't look like they're really doing either of the or. So I just think it's
draft him and
some
committing to his play style, and they playing.
yeah. I just think they're kind of
Say
selling
that
themselves
again.
short.
Draft a guy like him, you kind of have to commit to his play style, to a system for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
To make it easy. It's the coach's job to put your players in the best position to win. Not doing it. They're not taking advantage of all of his athletic abilities.
Yeah, because I mean, I really haven't seen it yet, but like you can look at numbers and what part of his legs are part is the strength of who he is as a quarterback, and we don't see that being utilized at all. Um,
In a division where most of the teams over there are really going through development processes, like I mean, you know what I mean? Really be able to get your development on as well. One thing about some of the teams over there, Reese's.
if you ask this GM for the outside of the year one draft because they had pick 32, they won the Super Bowl, but the last two drafts they were top 10 teams picking, right?
Right.
And what they drafted with those picks are going to be what this team is going to look like going forward, right? You would say what you bring in is what's going to determine what this team looks like going forward.
Right.
So I ask you, Snake, how are the Giants doing in their front office when it comes down to getting the right players and You know, do they have the right coaching system, the right coaches for the system they're trying to run? Like, what's going on in New York that can get them out of picking in the top 10? Or even having a quarterback that, because at this point right now, to me, Malik Cunningham is failing as a New York Giant. And how much more are they going to allow to happen in that type of market? You know what the New York market look like. They're not going to sit here and keep allowing this shit to happen without them starting to go crazy. That fan base will start losing their mind out there. What do they do to help change the fortunes of Malik Cunningham? Or do they move on from him and go get a quarterback that fits what they really want to do?
Not only that, you got Barkley over there getting up there in age too, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much longer does he have?
Yeah, I would make some moves now, honestly, just because back-to-back years at well, not back-to-backs, no, back-to-back years at bottom of the division. I feel like nobody's really expecting anything out of you, so you can take the opportunity to do some splash moves to the roster and take some chances because at this point you really have nothing to lose.
At all. I agree.
Yeah, this one of them teams that we just talked about or looked over last year. I think they need to make a move. They need to shake something up. I mean, go swap your first, go trade your first, and bring in a couple of guys that can actually help you out over here. Looking at their wide receiving room, I don't think they've done the best to help this guy out at quarterback.
I mean, draft two in
he
the
has his mind
2024
players.
draft, they drafted a receiver at 9, that they brought in the building. Take a look
See, but
at.
like I just look at like,
I
all
don't know.
right,
They don't have no
Wandell.
real
When I
plan
played him,
over here. Like,
Wandell was good, but like you have nobody to use to spring open Wandell. Let's be real, Wandell's not a wide receiver one in nature, 5'8", 185, but he's got the
and
speed
that's
to
what
be
he's
able to
being used
like
as
not
right
get
now.
focused on. Yeah, and then you got your my player here, which is 3 years in, but at an 83 2 overall, like
They
the
drafted
time that we
Dante
put in.
Thornton. They drafted Dante Thornton, number 9 overall in the first draft. I mean, the
So
second draft.
they
And
tried the
what's his
big
overall
body,
now? What's his overall now?
Dante
82. He's
Thornton,
actually at
82.
82
Yeah,
because
that's
he's
what I
81 with
mean.
the red
So
arrow down. So
we
like
gotta. It's time to
we
do
got
something
Wandell
different.
to a
You drafted
94.
twice, and you're not developing them players. They still look the
Yeah,
same. Like
Wandell to a
2 points ain't
94
nothing.
on star, but my player on an 83 receiver you drafted 2 drafts ago on an 81. The two first people I named are small and short but speed, and then you got
Well, you said
6'5".
it.
So it's like you got different types of receivers. It's just like, what are we kind of doing over here? Like
You
Saquon,
don't have that
he
number
gets
one.
his
Said it. First
Henderson's
thing you
got some
said was
development. He don't got
what
the number one for sure, but he's got options over here to kind of like spring one. I'm a full
right,
person where
but he
like
don't have that number one. He don't have that number one to spring none of those guys open.
open,
That's
yeah.
that's the that's
So
the first thing you said. So like they're nice pieces, but he don't have nobody over here that's scared. Man, it don't matter what
I
your
put my number
cornerbacks
one on. That's what I'm saying. I put my number
look
one on
like.
Wandell, and it's a game. Like that's it.
Yeah, you're
So
focusing on him, so it ain't nobody to take that focus off him, so he can
Cowboy in
really
the building.
be used to his full potential. That's all.
and if you're gonna
You
play it
haven't
like
seen
that,
the
you
player
got to
from
be a full on runner. Then, in my aspect, if you're not gonna be able to do that development in the wide receiver room, you got to be able to flip it and doing the running back. And
And not just the
Henderson
running
last
back
year,
room. Henderson played running back coming out of high school. He's now a receiver at Alabama, but he's a guy that can do both. That's another weapon that if they paid attention or did their homework on the player, they would know really what they got. Because this is really a weapon X on some real shit. Let's just call it what it is.
hmm
They moved him to the running back. They got their new running back. Simple as that. With that being said, they gotta. I mean, if they're gonna have to rely heavily on a run and throw later with Malik Cunningham at quarterback. But that means you have to design RPOs and read options and things like that to
because
get
even
that man
Saquon ain't
moving.
just a one type back. Like you know what I'm saying. Like I think
Mhm.
it's just they got multiple,
I mean, they
they got
got another
multiple
running back though. They
versatility,
still got Trayvon
and then
Henderson as well.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh
saying. He got
wow.
mercy.
Yeah,
Oh
they
So
don't
like
wow.
need
he
no
get.
running back. They need to. They almost too heavy. They prepare for life after Saquon.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
But
are.
that's
know.
what. But
I
that's what I'm
almost
saying. In
wonder, do
the
you get rid of Saquon and
I
look
wouldn't.
at
I
and
wouldn't because go
and
ahead.
Travion
look at
Henderson
bring?
is over here too. Oh my
Do you
God.
look?
Yeah, that's what
Do
I'm
you
saying. He
move
got
on from
Hendy.
Saquon and look to bring you a number one wide receiver in there right now? Like you
I feel
have
like
some
you could
nice
do that with
weapons, some
swaps though.
pieces.
You could do that with swaps though. People are still going to project down, and even if you getting the number one doesn't necessarily ensure wins. I'm sure if we go through the rest of the rest of his team, and then we match him up with the Cowboys on the rise, the Eagles still their division to lose. I think it's like okay, like It's saying that they're gonna go out there and just flip the whole season around
Then
with
you
one
look kind
trade.
of
It's
look
just
at what the Commanders did. You give them one more year of development on that front five on offensive line. That's a good football team over there. So
I would look at swaps, like you said, Snake, from the beginning. I would look at swaps
Nah.
because the defense ain't bad to me.
Pelicans.
Like the defense, Thibodeau's not bad. Mike Morris isn't bad. There's better development on the defense over here a little bit.
but
Dexter
they on
Lawrence
the
is
field
still
more.
here. Then,
Well, Barkley
I mean,
28, and
that's
like you
definitely
say,
true.
Henderson can play running back too, and not only he got a couple of weapon X's over there. I think like he really doing a play by committee anyway. Like maybe you
Maybe
look
that's why
out
we
there
don't
to
see a
see
wide
what.
receiver one because he's player by committee. He doesn't.
But
But is
a
that hurting
true
them in
number
the
one wide
sense?
receiver will help him out some. Will help
I
open those
think you
other
could.
guys up some.
I agree, and you can still do wide receiver. I mean, look at. I mean, I look
I'm not.
at.
I'm not going to go draft. I'm trading for a dog ass
I'm
receiver
trading
right
for a
now.
wide receiver. I mean, I was just about to say. I was looking at what I did. I had this type of offense when I first started. A lot of receivers that could be something, but like that we had no true wide receiver
Yeah.
one. So we go trade for Drake London. I definitely think they should follow suit, but I don't think they have to go about it the same way because the projection. I had to give my picks for Drake London because the projection is that I was going to be, in that top playoff pick. The projection over here, I
Like that
still think you
draft
could
pick,
swap.
Devontae
Erica.
Jackson.
I still think he could swap for real. Like I look at it as
But
maybe
all
you
right,
give
so
something
just
up depending on
let
who
me
you
ask you a
grab.
question. Let me ask you a question right quick. Just off what you said, just because everybody else in the division is doing this, that, and the fourth. You know what I mean? And you got a 28-year-old Saquon Barkley. Would you look at moving Saquon first, just to put him out there, get a feel, and try to hold on to your pick, and then possibly make moves? Or do
Maybe,
you think it's
but
more like you understand what I'm saying? That
I get what you're
I
saying. The
think it's.
only reason
I
why I'm
think it's
scared of that
immediately. I think
because
you gotta go right now
I
to
think
go
you
get a
move
receiver.
I think
I
yeah, but
think
he's saying you
I
swap first and do it. I'm
I say
saying I
you
would
swap
possibly look at
because
him
the
moving
player
Saquon
development is
Barkley to
still
do it.
the player development is still what we pushing, right? And yes, he has Henderson here, but like if we're talking about making some shit happen right now and then being eligible to push for the playoffs next year, Saquon I think still helps you push for the playoffs next year. I don't think getting rid of a Saquon and relying all on Henderson because I'm still relying on the player development.
Nah, he
Is
can't.
Henderson gonna?
He can't get rid of Saquon right now. Like, first of all,
He
he
can't. I
ain't
don't
gonna
think
get
he
the
can do
value
it.
that he thinks he would. First of
He
all,
can't do it right now. He's got to just go
and
with
you
the
need
swap
that
route first,
ability,
test the water,
and
and
you need
maybe
that
you have to
ability in your
include
backfield.
Saquon. Maybe you include Saquon as a swap, depending on what type of player you get.
Man,
But
I'm
like
taking
right
my
now,
first round pick, and I'm gonna go
I'm
get me a
swapping.
dog ass
I'm
receiver that's
swapping.
already ready to
Yeah,
go. Fuck a swap. I'm sending that shit somewhere right now. Right now.
I don't mind the send either. I don't mind the send. I
Because
don't mind the
if you
send.
ain't swapping, you get a dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you ain't swapping, if you send off, yeah, you might can cut out the need for a double pick, and you sending your straight up first. It's a wide receiver market. It ain't that.
Or
A singular first might be.
or go get a guy like I know, and it might not sound like the sexiest pick to go get, but a 99 overall
Earlier this
doubt
year, you
could do
got to move
everything for
in.
you receiver like Marshall Brown. Go get
Who you
him.
walking away? You walking away from your shit?
Huh?
You walking away from your? Never
Me?
mind. I just cleared up. No, I just cleared up. I don't know what that was. Um, I mean, I think you got St. Brown. You got
Because you ain't got,
Jettas.
I don't think you got to give up the house for St. Brown, but then that's another receiver like the Madden. Him going to get Jefferson right now.
Yeah, you got Jettas. You got Amron. I think that's just preference upon like what you like in a receiver.
Guys got to
Uh,
be scared, not be scared to go with their first round pick. Here's why. It's real draft. It's always a deep draft. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get superstars and all that, but it's a deep draft, and there's a lot of stars in this league that can work.
and I'm gonna be
A
real.
whole lot of work.
Your first round player isn't better than Justin Jefferson or
Nope,
Amron St. Brown
nope,
at
nope,
all.
nope, nope,
At
nope,
all. I don't care.
nope.
I don't give a fuck who you draft.
They got to
I don't give
give
a fuck
Malik
who.
Cunningham a chance to be
Busy
successful
working
over
out.
there.
Give him, bro. Look at everybody. Like I ain't even saying that Justin Fields with DJ Moore is the same as Hurts with Jalen
SoundCloud.
Brown and Allen with Diggs. But even those type of quarterbacks, you gotta give them something, bro. Like Lamar is ready to motherfucking boycott,
They
upchuck the
said they
motherfucking
said we
Ravens. Like you
sounding
gotta be
bad
able
right
to,
now. What's going on with the
you got
connection?
you gotta be able to take that chance. Let me look.
Lighter or ashtray?
Say you
Yo, yo,
breaking up.
yo. Can you hear me?
Unplug your headset and replug it back in. Just do it quick. His headset probably about to die. I forgot he got a wireless headset.
My shit about to die.
That's why let's see. I literally just said his shit probably about to die
Yeah, I'm
because you
gonna
got
get ready to pop
wireless.
the fuck out. Can y'all hear me
But I
now?
just seen some. Yeah, you sound good now for me. I just seen what the coach said. The head coach said speed of the game is still too fast, missing a lot of open wide receivers. I
Billy
think I
Cunningham.
think that's
He's saying the game
yeah. I
too
think
fast for
that's
him. I like that.
yeah.
I ain't mad at that.
He said game is still too
But
fast for him,
look,
missing a lot of open wide receivers.
that's not going to get fixed if he's on star. Think about the Seahawks. The difference between the Seahawks passing game now is they got an X factor at quarterback. Simple as that, yo. So
Wants the use of
if
sacrament for
Malik Cunningham
500.
can't get up to a superstar, the game's going to stay too fast for him. So that might be the position they need to go address. Maybe you go trade, get a receiver, get a quarterback, right? Go get a quarterback.
Now
And
you
not
didn't
any
think
quarterback.
about
You go
that
get a
object.
quarterback on ability because look, the game. Listen, I know what it felt like after having a star quarterback, and especially when you playing these guys that got superstars or X factors at the quarterback. Now, there's not a lot of them floating around in the league, so let's just start there. But the ones that did, I'm just gonna say, just talking to the Seahawks coach, the difference between their offense last year and this year is the quarterback is making the throws now. That means the speed of the game slowed down because the upgrade at the quarterback position was better. You're not saying Drake May might be an MVP this year because he's an X factor. Now, right? That changes everything. So they're in a situation where maybe they just might need a better quarterback, whether they can find, if they keep their draft pick and they draft one of the dogs that's coming out this year, or they can trade and go get one that's in the league right now. Like the coach will tell you, having Jalen Hurts at quarterback over Duggins right now is an upgrade, and he feels the difference in his passing game.
And that's why I mean, we didn't talk about that because we were coming from the aspect of, he's going to keep Malik Cunningham. But, like, I mean, that to me, because at this point at 87 overall, it's not like you haven't done anything bad. But I think you missed the window. Like, I think that could have been a perfect bridge X factor quarterback that gives you a contention to see, like, okay, can we put this offense together with ability quarterback? Malik Cunningham still could have been
Sometimes you
building and
can't
practicing
make trades
underneath.
because it always
And
in
then
addition to what
I
was
think,
said.
maybe you still keep Cunningham, and maybe next year he could have had another go at it with more development, even so. Because 87 is not bad, but he's still missing some threshold things for maybe the game to slow down for him a little bit.
I don't understand what you mean by that. Sometimes you can't make trades because it's always in addition to what was said. Then what was said? What do you mean by that?
Maybe like he's agreeing to trades, and then, or like getting to an agreement of trades with people, and then they change it up. Maybe
Or the trade,
that's the way I
or
read
the
it.
trade not good enough, and they get told to add something to it. I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know,
I know
but
there's some
I know
quarterbacks out there on ability though.
when guys want something, they go get. When guys
Yes.
want something, they give up what they got to give up to get them. They have 8 players in two at a first, second, and damn near third just to get a player. So like, you want who you want, you go get the shit up. Simple as that.
He's saying yes, I think to what I was saying, but um, I don't know necessarily because of the timing. But I mean, there's some guys still out here. Guys, like I said, they got to stop being scared. Mac
Like,
Jones,
like we heard Bryce Young
Baggett,
being thrown out there for being on the
every
block cheese
year,
every year since he's been in the
every
league.
year.
Go give it up.
Excuse me.
Because them picks you getting right now in the top 10 ain't getting you that anyway, so go give
Dak
it
was
up.
up on the block for multiple years in a row, cheap. Like I just like bridge does is bridge because if you still believe in your guy, there's nothing wrong with that. But like accept that your guy, if you're accepting and
Because
being a realist that your guy isn't ready,
there's no excuse because everything in this league shows you that you can't have no excuse. We can not saying that he's doing this, but like we could always say put agendas out there or all this and that or this ain't happening. Blah, blah, blah. We could do all that, right? But we always got outline to show us that what you talking about ain't right. So here's what I will argue to that because there's been star quarterbacks in this league that went the fuck crazy in this league. He just built two of them. Right?
Yep.
So the quarterback, if he's good enough and you're good enough, you're going to be able to make things happen with that quarterback. Simple as that. Or there's players in this league that want to trade players and go get more players or get a better player. Like, he's not trying to give up a Bryce Young because, you know, he can't stand Bryce Young. He wants to give up Bryce Young because there's somebody in the draft that he likes better.
I agree to trade. I mean, that's just part of the process, Junkyard. When you send the trade up and you agree on it, doesn't mean that it's automatically just going to go just because two
But
coaches
see,
agree on it.
that's what I'm talking about. That's the put it on something else and not that. If
But
you
like, let me clear that up just in general though, because a lot of people I think have the perception about sending it up to a committee is for like a committee is to check and balance the league, and y'all could agree on a trade, but there's an integrity of the league and what is value. That's why we had a reason with the stall out, and it's RDL, so we definitely gonna have more emphasis on that. We had a stall out for Jalen Ramsey because of the fact that he was traded for a third. There was controversy there. There was controversy about the Bears trade with the Panthers, and we took integrity upon that. So those is real life trades that we're taking integrity and thought process on.
that we taking integrity because of our
So
league and what we know
for
that's
our
going to come out
league
in
and
this league. So
and the
at the end
trades
of
that
the
happen
day,
in a league, like look at these trades that happen, like all that's integrity. Look at how last year, and I mean not that it's Game of Thrones, but look at the integrity. I still gave up what I had to give up for Patrick Mahomes because he changes shit. Trades change shit. So when you go out there and you just throw a certain thing out there just because, oh, that's what we agreed on, that doesn't mean that like it's actually the value of what the change or what the impact is going to have on your team, the league, the
how
other
many
person's
trades
team.
Antonio sent up to me that I've said, nah, bro, you're not getting enough for this player.
And we send it
Like,
right back, and then we send it right
send it
like,
right
bro,
back.
if you want it, you're gonna get it, and then just understand that there's a process for a reason. If we let guys trade for shit that they wanted, I mean, what they agreed on, half of y'all would be getting fucking robbed, and the other half would be out here motherfucking selling their souls because they just want somebody. Like, there's an integrity behind every trade, and the reasons that we got rules and regulations and checks and balances. So I can't really say anything
The
upon
Seahawks
like
is trying to give a first
that.
this year, a first second this year, and a first second next year for Patrick Surtain, the cornerback. It got denied. Nope.
Literally,
And he
quick,
wanted to give that up. Nope.
and was okay
It
with
ain't
it.
worth that.
There's no
Now we looking at a
Didn't
pass
even
rusher like a Joey Bosa or somebody like that, and we start looking at
take
those
it an
numbers like
extra.
that. Then okay, the pass rusher
But
changes the
take it an
game
extra step. He didn't even
tremendously.
look up. He didn't even look up that the motherfucker was coming up on contract. Like, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just people. Oh, you want a quick bang? Okay, let's do it. Like, if we let that shit happen, that was stupid as hell. Now, Mill in 2 years or a year gonna be like, damn, I gotta resign this nigga. I just motherfucking paid all this shit. It's integrity before, like, it's integrity for the trades, integrity for the shit. We do the research.
Like
Y'all just
no,
be ready to just
like
bust a move.
nobody's like and nobody's denying trades to be just to fuck you over or to be like, nah, I don't like this nigga. I'm doing like I don't. I'm the commissioner of this league, and the sooner y'all understand that I care about how y'all feel or how y'all enjoy the league, and I care about these things. But we have to have things in place. You can't have a league ran without rules. There got to be some type of shit in play. And then what I do is so it's not just my bias. Okay, you add people to
Yes,
be
sir,
able to
Bo.
agree with it. That's the main thing. I look
Yeah,
at contracts.
yes, sir, Bo. Hey, look, accounting finance gang. Yes, sir, Bo.
Like to me, that's easy to say. Yo, a reason why I can't trade because I sent the trade up and they told me I had to add more to it. For that's a cop out. Really, that's just saying it ain't my fault. It's not mine. It's somebody else's shit, or else I had to trade. Because if I go back to that trade, we're not even talking about anybody that's really going to change the impact of your team. To be honest with you, but that's your preference. But if you want him, I'm not going to let you get robbed, and I'm not going to let the person that's trading with you rob you, or he's not going to rob. Try to make the trade as even as possible. And with me, this is why I got a committee, and I also will refer back to them. Is because with me, I know what I'm willing to give up to get what I want. You think I'm sitting at number one every year because I do what I want? No, I give it the fuck up. I don't go get the safety that was in the top 5 of this draft or top 6 in that draft without giving it up. Like I'm still rebounding from that right now. Like I enjoyed the
Hmm.
first 2 drafts, right? But guess who will not be playing in the first round this year?
This year,
Guess who
I'm
will
like,
not be playing in the second round
I'm
this
like,
year?
This nigga ain't got a first this
I
year.
don't got shit this year unless I trade to go get me a first back in to get back in the draft. So it's things that's gonna happen in the
Cash
process of
rewind.
things happening right now. I'm playing in the second round of this draft, right? Now I can move around and do some things to get back into the draft, or I can sit in the second round and decide I got a lot of guys that are first round picks that's gonna be 5th-year option guys. I don't need another first round pick for the next 2-3 drafts. Maybe I don't pick in the first round the next 2 drafts, 26 or 27. That'll help me recoup from the shit I did doing the first 3 to build the Texans team up. Like so like that like that's not. I mean, you if you want something, go get it. Simple as that. You want something, go get it. And if something come back, add another pick to that. If that's a problem, then you know,
I
I mean,
got
make it
bags.
work.
Revisit next
Make it
season.
wait.
Revisit at the end
Make
of
it the
like
fuck
do
work.
something. Like yeah,
Cause
like
we really don't deny trades. We just don't let no crazy shit happen. Like I'm just telling you to make it work. You got to make shit work. That's a cop out in my opinion to just say, oh, you know, I shouldn't trade, but then they gotta get added. More shit gotta get added to it and shit. Like that more shit ain't
that's
moving
negotiation. Like
moving the earth though. That more shit is just straight up. Look, bro, you got to send a little bit more to that. Like send them another pick. And we don't just say no, or I don't say no. I literally tell you what will make it work. So by the time Max get back to you, he already know what to make it work. Nah, that's
put
denied,
in.
but add this fourth to it and it's a go.
Yep.
You want the player bad enough, then that fourth ain't gonna kill you. So you know, and it's like that with rules. If we, you know, like I have an editing league, so it'd be impossible to let guys just run the same, like be on some YouTube shit. Imagine T being able to run the same thing over and over and over and over
I'd
again
have
with
fucking quit.
no, you guys to quit the game. He already beating the shit out of niggas now. Imagine when he can run the same play over and over and over and over again. Now, if this was a regular league of not, you know, not me editing my draft classes or you know the things we do over here. If it was one of those regular leagues, and there's nothing wrong with those type of leagues, I would never downplay anybody else's league. But if it was one of those leagues, then you know, then okay, fine, cool, right? But you would think guys are talented enough, or you over here, you playing, you have some type of success in playing the game over here. You should understand these things, and that shit shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem. Better call different plays or call different defenses. You know how many times I'm in a zone defense that I'd rather be in man, but I knew I called man, so I can't call it and nigga dot me up because I know I'm in something I don't want to be in. Like it hurts, but at the end of the day, it kind of balances the league out a little bit. Think about this. You know how many guys don't got money right now that can't fix their money and that's not going to spend money to get game money, not going to spend real money to get game money. Where you guys are going to start ready to quit when you can't manage your team. But in Game of Thrones, what did I do? I never gave y'all those issues because I came and managed the team for you. I came and gave y'all contracts. I fixed all types of shit. I made sure y'all can keep up with the Joneses so the league stayed balanced. Well, these scores are ridiculous right now because a lot of y'all really don't spend the
I
time.
hope you
Not
feel
that y'all don't know
comfortable
how to
begging in the
do it. You
chat
just
or
don't
reading
spend the
one of the
time
comments until you
and get
stay
intimate
safe
with your
and
team
feel you feel
like we
better after.
say. When you got half of the league that really get intimate with their team. They care. They really think that they're the real GM. They really think that
I
they're the
can
real
tell
coach. They
y'all
really
shit
think that they're
about
the
y'all
real
team.
player.
Y'all probably don't even fucking know, and I look at y'all's team and bypass.
You
I could
think
probably tell.
McCoy not building over here or not doing the things he's supposed to do because he don't know what he's doing? No. This guy has tenure in my league. We've seen him do it. We've seen him win and build teams. He's telling you, I ain't got the time right now. But he ain't bitching or complaining about nothing. It's just I don't got the time right now. When I do get the time, then I'll build my team. It's that simple. Like y'all can say what the fuck y'all want. That don't mean we ain't gonna talk about his team looking like shit. But he ain't worried about it to enough where, you know, he lose by 60 to somebody and he very fucking blame everything on somebody else. Guys gotta stop doing that shit. That's the main thing I can't stand. Like when shit don't go your way, like I got guys that tell me, yo, you need the shit, love your draft class, da 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 da. And then when things don't go their way, it's oh man, only you know, like I gotta stop that shit, bro. Like because at the end of the day, you got range to do what you want in my league. Like there's a lot of range in this league to go do what the fuck you want. And it ain't too many commissioners that's like me, that's lenient like me and allow shit to happen or even help out. Like I don't gotta go do shit for guys, and yet I'm revisiting guys that I took the time out to develop into the fact that how is this guy? Let me look at this draft class guy and what should I build on him? Okay, that's a star. And I come back and give a nigga a superstar, give a nigga a superstar. I gave 3 people superstars after the draft was over just because they made me go back and look at the player they drafted. And they
I
were
think you
right.
did the same thing last year. Like it'd be really just scratch. It'd be really
Or I
scratch
could be
back,
the
scratch
dickhead and
back.
say, fuck y'all, whatever you got, you got. Kiss my ass, I don't care. Feel how you want to feel. Because the moment you leave, I'm replacing you. It's that simple. If you don't think I ain't been doing this shit for long and I got a really good football league that goes summer to summer, every time the disc come out, we're going to play until the next disc come out. To the point where we don't even want to lead a league. Fuck Mad 24. I'm still having fun in Mad 23. So if you don't think that it's 10 to 15 other guys right now in my other league mad that we ain't focused on that league and they want to get over here right now, then figure it out because like we gotta stop doing that shit, man. Like it's like listen. It's hard enough for me to say I lost the game and I lost because of connection because it's the same song, right? It's hard for me to say that because I know I'm taking somebody win away from them if I say that shit out loud, right? Or I know why I lost, right? I know why I lost, but I check myself at the door and figure it out. All right, I gotta get better at this. Let's get better at this. I know what I like to do. I know what I like to do to play this game. What do you like to do to play this game? We just got to stop not being accountable for shit, man. At the end of the day, you got the picks to better do what the fuck you want. Really, all it's more guys in this league that
10
want to
minutes.
draft. Like I got Shador Sanders, and right now, in my head, I got to stop contemplating about which grade come out this draft. And be fucking around, be starting over at quarterback. Like, think about that, bro. Like, because that's
Yo,
the
the
fun part
Dolphins
of
do
it.
it
Like,
every
he
year.
do it every year. Go get yourself Bryce Young right now. That's 99 out and 3 seasons. Go get
I
him.
dare you. Do something different. Shake the league up. Like if you blew, I ain't gonna lie, and this is for anybody, because like the whole conversation for me shifted for anybody when we started talking about trades, not just towards Junkyard when we was going at Malik Cunningham. If you do something back to back, same outcome, and you do it a third time, you start to lie in the definition of insanity, which is to do the same thing repetitively and expect different results. Shake it up. Do something. Shit. If
Like
you
for
went 3 years
example,
and you thought about holding your picks next year, say
for
fuck it.
example,
I'm gonna swap all them bitches. Whatever the case, bro, like switch the shit up. You'll never know until
our
you fucking
Cardinals
try.
coach lost his mind to be able to tank and lose as many games as possible to be able to get Khalid Williams. With him playing with Khalid Williams ain't gonna change about who he had at any other quarterback. Eventually but guess what? He understands it's him. But you know what? He wanted to play with Khalid Williams, so he got Khalid Williams. He know the quarterback ain't the reason why he's winning or losing games. He know that,
Be young on the
but
block.
he went to
At
go
least he's
get him.
losing with Khalid
He
Williams.
went to go get the player he wanted to play with. That's simple as that. And you got to respect that. We can sit here and be like graveyard, all this and that, but you got to respect that man went and got who he wanted to play with, and that's that, right?
Player
Or
ability like they
he
say,
can do other
but to
things.
be a class player in this LGI show would have to add.
Yeah, Bryce Young is on the block. Well, he was on the block in the offseason. I can't say that. He only really puts him on the block or advertises it in the offseason.
Here go the thing
So
though. What makes a 28-year-old not valuable? Us saying it. That's it. Us saying it. Because in
I
any
traded
other
for
league, a
Jamal. Wait, hold on,
28
yeah, because I traded
any
for.
other
I
league,
fuck
it's
that.
us
Even in
saying
this
it.
league,
It's us saying
even
it.
in this league, I say it, but I traded for Jamal Adams at 28.
Just saying it.
Next,
You know why 28-year-olds valuable still? Like first of all, it's more that come into a trade. Just because the guy 28 ain't gonna stop me from saying he a
A
dog.
30-year-old Ranger just got 3 year, $45 million contract.
Bakhtari will be here as long as he fucking can. Now that's a lineman, but like still, he was
See,
32 when I traded for him. What are we
see
talking
the
about?
see
He
the
could have
see
retired
the
on me
see
next
the
year,
see the
and I
thing is
still gave
this.
up a first for him.
See the thing is this. You got guys right now that's playing with veterans because they know that's their success rate
No
of how they
junkyard
play the game,
worthy
what they
not
like to do,
true.
and how they gonna win.
Player position matters.
Everything matters. Player position matters. Contract matters. Who the player is. All that shit matters, bro. It matters. I'm just
I'll
not
tell you
sitting here
something
saying
else.
yes or no to trades without digging into it. That's why I asked y'all to do the work first. So by the time it get to me, I could just look at everything in the notes that I need to look at and say yes or no to it.
We
And
got
if I
people
can't
out
figure it
here.
out, I'm gonna go right back to the guys that I refer to. Yo, I don't really know what y'all think.
Uh, I mean,
Junkyard
not for
Liquidity Doc
nothing.
Rice Yum.
We got people out here ducking star players, but Javon Harlan just got a contract on star. 20, what, he 25, 26?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because you listen. Max got Kelsey dropped the fucking star, and
And
he
kept
still
him for
and
30
kept him
million
for
a
what?
year. For
But I'm not even gonna
30
say
million a
why. I'm
year.
not even gonna say why that was important. Because you should know
Oh,
that by now, and people should know why that would be
yeah.
important. A 30-year-old Kelsey still better than 10 of the tight ends that come out the draft.
Kept Chris Jones at star at 31 and paid him another 27 million. Sure did. Sure did. Would do it
Again,
all again.
be
Again, would do it again if I was asked.
if you get intimate with your team, you will understand. Like half of y'all drafting motherfuckers and y'all only drafting them because y'all used to looking at the combine numbers because the Madden draft is some Madden draft shit, right? But you not listening to the fact that I'm really making these players. That means I'm making real players with their likeness and everything. All their attributes come from everything I either read up on or watch through highlights. I even go and watch their worst game, wherever their worst score was. I want to see what they did in that game, and I'm watching it. And none of y'all drafting y'all guys with that type of mindset. Let me go. Let me instead of me thinking that no disrespect to y'all from saying that having these things. Let me think. Oh, he should have been a superstar. Oh, this guy should have been a star. But do you really know who the player is, or you just going off mad concepts? Because guess what Ant does? I do my own draft. So that means the guy that was on X Factor might not be on X Factor anymore. He might be a star, might be a normal. He might be a superstar depending on his shell
Oh, I
or who
don't
I'm
think the
making him
player
as.
because I
So if you
haven't
look
seen
at these
myself
players and
traded
you
for that type
understand who
of
you draft,
players,
then
which
you'll
is a
know
big, big difference.
before you even draft, you can get a better idea who's going to be a superstar in my league than you can in any other league.
And even with that being said, it's still some slip ups. The Rams can attest to this. He drafted like a 53 or 55 overall superstar center.
Yep, undrafted center
Last
that I
season,
never even looked
like
at.
that you never even test or draft. He was undrafted. I mean, like it happens. Like so you have some anomalies in it because people are human. That's one of the reasons like the league don't get hit in that playoff time. Sometime when we done with playoffs and in the playoffs, it don't get hit right away when everybody wanted to sit on re-sign for 2 and 3 days. It don't get hit because players are still being edited and fixed and combines and this, that, and the fourth. Like he kind of like putting the names, ages, and likes and attributes for how many players? I mean,
About
y'all do the math.
400, about 400,
It's
500
30.
players.
It's 32. It's 7 rounds, 32 players. Then there's an undrafted portal. Then there's still free agency. So just think about it. He's sitting there editing 400 to 500 players. So he's not gonna remember everybody's
Anywhere
stuff.
from 448
Like
plus. I just did math.
easy.
Like anywhere from 448 plus. Like,
Yeah.
and to address what Junkyard said, and I'll go straight to Snake because Ant really don't trade for older players. So Snake
Okay.
doesn't trade for a lot of old, but he understand. I don't think that type of way as far as when we was talking about trading for like the windows and doing shit because I can't really see myself trading for that type of player. It's usually usually an 8 year difference.
So then
Um,
why are you trading for him in the first place then?
I
That'll
would
be my
say
first question. Why are you trading for a
though,
player you don't even look at and value that way?
if you see the
Yeah,
vision and you get the
yeah.
vision, you can't really like you
Huh?
can't play the what if you see the vision
Yeah.
and you thought about hitting them up. Like, and I'll go to Snake. Snake, what old players would you when you came into the league were you thinking about acquiring?
Aaron Donald
Would
right
I have
away.
acquired Aaron Donald?
Aaron
I
Donald.
wouldn't would have acquired Aaron
How
Donald.
all they come me
And
with
did
the
I not mess
trades.
around and say I might trade for Cooper Cup again when I got the Chiefs?
I
You
mean,
remember that
I would have
conversation?
never
I
traded for a
mean,
Cooper Cup, but you did. I actually was the one that told you to trade for Cooper Cup. Go get him.
Cup.
Because
Go
I
get
know
I
what
mean,
Cup.
I know what a
Only
Cooper Cup would
because
do for your roster, and it did exactly that. It did exactly
Go
that.
get go get
When
Cooper
Boone
Cup.
was beating you,
He's
what did Cooper Cup do? Once you got him,
straight slot matic. Straight slot god. 9 catches a game, literally playing the game around Cooper Cup. And then I started taking that shit into other games. Like I think guys, once you see what you want, you can't really double back and hesitate. You know, sometimes you could understand the value of it, but if you saw a reason to go and trade for him, you got to ignore the like 6, 8 year difference because you might be trading for a window. That's the fun in the build. If you put a 2 to 3 year window on that position, you can still draft it, have underneath, build shit, address it
And
another way.
you
Like
got
there's
to look
ways
at
to
it
really
differently.
put it
There's ways to
together.
look at it. Like there's different ways to look at your trades. Like for instance, we talking about who you was talking about Junkyard. I didn't catch his exact question, but I'm just speaking. Junkyard. What was Junkyard's? Who did he draft? Who was his first round pick, and what's his overall?
This year, who did he
His
draft?
first.
Hold
See
on.
the first draft. First
First,
draft.
Hold
What
the
on.
was his
first
first
drive,
pick?
he drafted Malik Cunningham.
Cunningham. That's Cunningham. He is
And what's
87
Malik?
overall
And
quarterback.
Malik Cunningham came out 80
So
or above. I don't know how I could go back right now and in reference to it. As a matter of
so
fact, let's
this
do
the
that.
third season. This the third season, and you only got him up to 87 overall. Like, think about it. Are you getting maximum production out of that one player? Like, would you have not come off better if you traded for a couple of guys that might have been in the 90s in that 3 year window? In that 3 year window, would you have got more production out of?
Having a Dak Prescott and two more
I
other
was just about to
players.
And
say,
two more other players,
or even then,
right?
okay, you get him Cunningham. You get Cunningham. This is why I say with the window, you get Cunningham. You understand that he at
Go
first
look at his
round pick.
second year.
Well, look, wait,
Who's
let me. I'm gonna get a look
okay?
at
Go
at
ahead.
first round pick. He got 5 years, right? Because you inquire 5th year. Part of the reason I would think you draft him in the first round, pick 32, because that was after the Sim season, he won a Super Bowl. Bang. Even coming into next year and after that, and there was
Now
guys
if
that
I
were on
can
the
play
block.
all
There were
my games, you
superstar
would have
quarterbacks.
been
There
in the
was Mac
90s.
Jones. There was window. I call those window
He
bridge
do got
players,
a point, but go
where
ahead. Go ahead. He got a point, though. He got
window
a point.
window bridge players in the sense of like, okay, so you still got Cunningham, but throwing him in fire, throwing him doing this other things, doing like that, it still can be development underneath, and you have 2 to 3 year windows. Some old guys is not necessarily like, oh, you're investing your all in them.
So
You
his
put people
complaint.
underneath them, and you make shit
All right.
happen.
So look, his complaint was, I wouldn't trade for. I shouldn't have had to add another pick to a 28-year-old. Let's just start there. But then he comes right back with a great point that he has. If I could play all my games, Malik Cunningham would be a 90 or above already right now. Right?
I
Ain't
can
that
believe
more of
that.
the reason why you trade for the player that's already ready to go?
Yeah.
If you know you can't
And
play all your games, ain't that more of the reason why you would trade for the 28-year-old that's a
not
high
only that, not
overall
only
already?
that, we're talking 2 years, two full seasons. He's still not at a 90. I think if we look at most of the players from that first draft, a lot of them played after 1 year. I mean, Malik Cunningham his production, his overall has went up like he's been in the league almost a complete year. So in 2 seasons, you haven't played a full season of games. You understand what I'm saying?
I know he missed. Yeah.
Even when them games get simmed, you still getting stuff with him. Go look at his second year. Go look at who he drafted
Bro, listen,
in the league the second year of his first round.
there's no more argument to this. If you can't play all your games, then why wouldn't you go get a
That's
28
one of
year
them. I
old
ain't gonna
that's
lie.
a
I'll
90
agree right with.
overall or 88 overall already versus a rookie that you got to build that's, you know,
I'll agree with
77
Ant right there
overall, 80
because that's something
overall?
we
At the
used
end
to
of the
say. We
day,
used to we used to say that like, yo, if you missing games, you might as well cut out the build and just kind of like lopside your roster in certain positions. High here because you traded there. Like I think when you playing less or you being able not being able to do less, you got to get more out of it. Like your 4th round, 5th rounds, 3rd round might not even matter if you're not playing all your games
look,
and then not
The
winning on
Chargers is
draft
a
picks.
prime example of this shit. He don't miss a fucking game. He ain't trying to hear nothing. Even if a guy say give me the first win, he's trying to play that computer game. He don't miss nothing. And yet, if you go look at his team, it's more veteran based than it is the rookies and young players. Why? Because he know what he's going to get playing with those guys already. Like,
We just said Javon Harlan, the safety, only on Star. He got damn near 60 mil. What, over 5 years?
He got 90
Because he's
over
a
five.
veteran. He got 90 million over 5 years, a star safety. What's his overall?
shut it up.
91.
And
Because he knows
that
the importance.
that 91 star will play better than a rookie cornerback on Superstar with one box open. Simple as that.
Depending on awareness and play record, might play better
That's what
than
I'm.
85
I was
overall.
trying not to say that. I was trying not to say that at
Like,
all. I didn't want to give that part of
but
it up at all. But
let's just be
at the
real.
end of the
Do we
day,
think that
if I
Craig
can't play
went
all
out there
my
and paid
games,
that?
I'm listen. If I can't play all my games, I'm gonna go get the players that I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what Shoguns would do. Go trade for the players already built.
And go get Ramsey at
Go get
30 years old.
go get the
Then give him
guys
a
that's
freaking
already
3
built.
years, $45 million contract.
Go get the guys already built. Go get the guys already built. Simple as that. Go get them. Why not? Go get them. Go get
Not
those
for
guys that's
nothing.
already built.
Hey, not for nothing. Snake went and got a Mac Jones. That was
Like,
superstar
Giving out too
for
much.
for a
bro,
second.
I went and
Like,
play. I went and got Byron out of free agency. I went and traded for Jamal Adams.
And I would never give up a draft pick for Jamal Adams ever. Me,
Adams ever.
I'm not.
Look,
Why? Because
like, you know what I'm
I can
saying?
play with my. I don't miss games. I'm on my team all day
and
long, and I know how to develop players.
not to just talk about the Chargers, but now that I think
Self-proclaiming
about
they're
it,
not
go
playing
look at
with the
all the
draft
vets
instead
the
of them
Chargers
trading
added
picks for
that was
guys
28
Vita
or
that don't
older
Vea,
even
this
play
off
Kenny
is
Clark,
season.
some bullshit.
Vita Vea, Kenny
Yeah,
Clark. Like, come on, like
like
you'll see it when you
in one
see it.
off
I just
season.
you'll miss it if you blink, but like
And hold
it's
on,
right there. It's right there.
Think
he
about
gave away
that
two
though.
draft picks.
Think
He gave
about
away a
that.
third this year and
Traded for
third
A
next
Debo
team,
year.
at
a
traded
team,
for Tebow
a
at
team,
27.
a team that
A
won a
team that
Super
has a
Bowl
Super Bowl.
traded his picks to go get Debo Samuels, a defensive end from the Raiders. Uh, who else he got? Then
He brought in Kenny Clark.
The
He
next year,
brought
that was
in
that year.
very
I think
next,
that was their
and
very,
last
Vita
year. The
very,
Vea.
next
very
year he
next
goes and
year,
gets
Javon Holland,
Kenny Clark on Kenny Clark
And
and Ed
gave
Oliver.
Javon Holland 90
He
million.
got Ed Oliver,
Ed
Clark. These are
Oliver.
all
Self-proclaiming
guys with
NFL
high
software
awareness and
engineer.
play recs right now.
Holland's the only
Awareness,
one
play
Gave
that's
up
recs.
two thirds.
Holland's
Gave
the
up
only
two
one that's
thirds for
literally
Vita Vea.
under Holland's the only one that's literally under 26. Let's
But
remind everybody that. And
he's
he
still a,
signed
you
him.
right. He's a star though, but he gave him 90 million. So when people running away from
Investment. Yeah.
stars, look, he invested to his players and everybody running away from 28, 29 year olds. Look what he did. It's the reason behind it.
I post my
Can't be
upgrades.
scared.
I post my developments into when I get breakouts and I get them. I post them in chat to show that when you start looking at my roster and you see superstar X factors, not all of them was drafted that way. That's all I'm saying, and I've been saying that forever. Not all of them drafted that way. There is a sense of a development going on over here. Simple as that. Like in year one, although I tanked, I developed my players. Even the normal quarterback that I had turned to a star, and I threw a million picks with the guy. So, like, all I'm saying is, like, look, and I love this. This is great conversation, by the way. This is what make our show the shit. This is what make guys that try to duplicate us can't do it because y'all not getting
Poking the
this type of
mind. I'm like,
interaction.
yeah, bro. Poking the
We're
mind.
conversating. There's no disrespect. There's no blaming or pointing fingers. It's addressing situations like Junkyard
And
having
we
a grown man
appreciate it.
conversation right now,
Hey,
which is
Junkyard,
cool.
we
I hate
appreciate you.
guys that resort to, well, you doing this and you getting out this and that
Come
after
here.
you just was telling me how great the fucking draft and
Yes.
shit. I hate, or you telling me how good the league is. I hate that type of shit because at the end of the day, you can do some things if you just do it. You got to change up to what you want. How important is the league to you? That's it. How important is the league is you? If it's not important to you, then you shouldn't complain about anything or have nothing to say. Just play your games and keep it moving like a Mark does. Who else that I'd rather have in my league more than a lot of guys all the time, like a
McCoy.
McCoy does, like the guy that just play and they ain't whatever. But if you're invested, then be invested, and if you're gonna be invested, then this is great conversation to have right now. The better put some things on the table to figure some things out right now, though. But like at the end of the
And
day,
last night, one thing I do
LGII is
say
now your
too, not to
favorite
cut you
band
off,
from Atlanta.
and I'm just
Today
gonna
the
say,
31-man shrugging,
Junkyard
medium dark skin
and the
tone.
mode that Foe was in last night is appreciated when y'all do ask some questions because it's somebody in the league that might not want to ask that question, who might not be tuned in, but they tuning in and they'll get the answer. There's somebody else that need that question answered too that y'all asking. So don't be scared to ask no questions. We be answering and giving out the extra little gems to try to help everybody out as it is.
not gonna lie, not gonna lie, I ain't want to give up Vita Vey for what I did, but I had to in order to move on. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with
And
that.
Todd, I had the Bucks in Game of Thrones, so I
There's two
know
sides of it.
those players are old. And then not only that, you got a lot of veteran players, and you can't really you can't be scared to hold on to certain people. You have to move on. Whether it's cap issues to get picks, the future. You're not just playing this game just for right here, right now, today. You got to invest in some players. Todd, sometimes some people invest in their rookies. Some people trade for some players that are a little bit older but not super vets. Some people play the veteran game. It's different ways to play, attack, build your team. There's different ways to move, and I think we just talked about a few different people. You got a few different users on here right now that move different way. We talked about the Chargers, how they just got older people. We can look at the Texans, how they went straight younger people. You can look at a team like Seattle who went all younger people, and now they just added icing on the cake with a veteran quarterback. It's different ways to move, so you can't be. We talking about the Bucks who didn't go with a straight rookie quarterback, but they went and got Malik Willis and invested some stuff in him. You can't be afraid to move certain ways. Sometimes you can't even be afraid to take some type of chance to even see, like, if it doesn't work out exactly how you want. Sometimes you gotta have your trial and error period where, all right, I tried that, I know not to go like this, but instead of a 29-year-old, maybe I'm at the point where I can just get like 26 and 27-year-olds. That way they are a little bit developed. All right, I drafted this
Look,
guy.
the good thing about it being a video game is take your chances because you always get
That's
to
why I
rewrite your
said
wrongs. You can
switch it
rewrite
up.
your
Yeah, it's a
wrongs.
video
It's
game.
a
Fuck it
video
up. It
game.
don't matter.
You
Fuck
can
it
lose
up.
today and come right back on and play tomorrow unless you got to buy. I hate that shit. Losing and then got to buy week. Oh, God. But you can
All
rewrite your
right,
wrongs.
I'm
You
gonna
always
tune
going
that
to have
brother
opportunity to
phone.
rewrite your wrongs.
Do
It's that
something one
simple.
season, you ain't got to do the same shit the next season. You learn from a mistake.
Completely learn from mistakes. But what I do
Doing the
know is
same shit is
this.
insanity. I'm just letting y'all know.
As a commissioner, and this is something you guys need to know, as a commissioner, of course, I enjoy playing this game. I enjoy moving around and getting players and building guys and all that. But I'm more satisfied with the members in the league enjoying themselves more than anything. Like I am always going to always try to have a relationship with everybody that's in my league to figure, who you are as a person, to understand you. My phone line is always open to guys because I care about the league. My leagues don't run from summer to summer without those type of things, without me being accessible to everybody. And I mean, my phone's not ringing because people in my real life is calling me. It's the game guys calling me every day, all day. I just had to ignore somebody right now calling me probably for something. But at the end of the day, I'm available, I'm accessible like that. And at the end of the day, if you're not having fun, I wanna find out why and maybe holler at you to figure out if we can change that, or maybe it might not be the league for you. And I understand that, right? And there's no hard feelings on either way. And the door, if you don't walk out of here and disrespectfully or do some bullshit to me, the door is always open for you to come back, right? And there's guys that I would never let back in my league, but is that for the most part, guys that leave always got an opportunity to come back because I opened the door to have a relationship with you other than you just a body in my league. Once you become a part of my league, you become a part of Madden Franchise Junkies brand. So I care about that, right? So I care about the brand, so I care about y'all. So at the end of the day, we're not trying to fuck nobody over or piss somebody in a bad situation or cheat people out of shit. None of that. What we're doing is we're trying to have a really good league that nobody runs the way we run it. And a lot of guys either leave here and they copy what we do because they're showing love without showing the love. They care about what we have going on and they take that. I've done it. I've took things from other leagues and implement and put it part of my league. Like, so we're doing something right to better play from summer to summer every year and be locked the fuck in and enjoying ourselves. Simple as that. With that being said, fellas, we're going to be done with this show. We'll be back. It's already 7 something. So if your game ain't already
I'm already
played,
at it.
if your game ain't already scheduled, and don't be scheduling past 9 o'clock, you already know what the situation is. And you looking for a trade, come holler at me. I got dogs and picks. I need picks. Somebody come holler at me. Holler at you. Shiloh Sanders belong in Houston. That's all I'm going to say.